fellow gamers. How are you all doing today? I'm GloryHoundd. This is
DrGloryHogg.
And we also have
Jan from Quackalope. Hello, everyone.
How's everybody doing today?
You forgot his name, didn't you?
No, I didn't forget Jan's name. How dare you?
And now she says my name again just to prove that she didn't forget it. Good catch, Derek. Good catch.
She totally forgot your name.
Listen, I know how to do it, okay? You always say the name right after. Right after they say it,
it's a
okay?
solid beginning, guys. It's a solid beginning. By the way, I just got to say, that intro really gets your heart pumping. Like, I am ready for some Super Fantasy Brawl action.
That's just me on a flute, actually. Just
Is it?
in my bathroom.
Like the Ocarina of Time?
Yeah,
like,
that's what it is.
I say that those acoustics are amazing in that bathroom, apparently. I don't know. That's really good.
It's really good. I spend most of my time there.
Definitely.
Oh, so we have a Battle Cry says that you forget everyone's name. Is this true?
She forgets my name sometimes. It's real
does she?
awkward.
I've been called out.
Yeah.
Oh, Battle Cry. Don't say all my secrets.
You're just getting called out everywhere. What's going on?
Like, every stream with Battle Cry. No.
It's okay. He usually focuses on me about midstream, so we'll be good.
Hello to our chat today. We also have Big Baz in chat here, and I believe I saw, what was it, Pedde in chat as well. Hello. How are you all doing today? Make sure to leave us lots of comments as we will be talking directly to all of you out there. We have our top 16 contenders for Super Fantasy Brawl. I'm really excited to get this started today.
That is an accurate number. Thank you.
Top 16?
Yes, 16 was very
Are we just going to
accurate.
comment on all my accuracy today?
Is it horrible that anytime anybody says 16, I do that MTV snippet, which is Sweet 16, but now it's Top 16? No, nobody goes to that one.
No.
Oh man, I guess it's a different lifetime ago. Oh no.
Oh my gosh, right? I used to love watching. Was it the pop-up video from was that MTV? That was on MTV,
that was
right?
VH1.
Oh dang it! Never mind.
Oh my god, VH1.
VH1 is where you went to hear older music, but like there was actual videos. So, you know, it was kind of a trade-off.
It was a give and a take.
Yeah, you weren't getting Britney Spears, but you were getting like pop-up video, and there's actual videos happening.
Pop-up video was amazing.
Let's just talk about pop-up video some more.
I'm excited to talk about pop-up video. I have no idea what it is, but if you want to teach me.
So all it would be is while you're playing the music video, little facts would pop up, and they'll be like, during this shoot, they use 5,000 green M&Ms, or for this shot here, it's all like really good stuff. You could probably use it since, you know, you guys do that recording stuff.
You probably take
really
some pointer.
The value of your show. I'm just saying.
We definitely need more value on our show. You're 100% right on that. Yeah,
I agree.
Who do we have up today?
So we've got DeathOfRaven and David Christy, it looks like.
What are their names? DeathOfRaven and David?
That's what I literally just said.
No. What are their actual names? I mean, I love everybody's like login name, but I'm sure they want to get credit, or maybe they don't want to get credit if they're like really bad losers. I don't know.
David is
if they lost really badly, then you're like, no, that wasn't me. That was actually my friend playing on my account.
That's David versus Daniel. How about that?
David versus Daniel.
Which one's David?
And which one's David? So I know who to root for.
The one who's called David Christy, that's David.
I don't want to go ahead and root for David. I'm rooting for Daniel today.
Well, Daniel would be the one not named David. You can see where we're going with this?
Daniel and David enter the ring.
We need the MTV remote control game show back. Ooh, that would be really cool. And look who we got here. We must have Jesse in chat.
Oh no, that's 100% me. I'm everywhere.
Is it you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm everywhere.
You're multitasking?
How can you not?
How dare you try to show me up? Everybody's trying to show me up
She
today.
does not let me do that. She'll probably take the mouse away from me again here soon.
All right, so who do we have playing as far as what they're playing today?
Yeah, so team-wise, what we're looking at here.
I'm seeing Solka in there.
Yeah, we got Solka.
Oh, yeah, I love Solka.
Yeah, we've got the Jade Tiger again. He's back. So that's he's making some more appearances. So that's always really good.
Yeah, shoes out.
Other team that we are looking at here.
Oh, another Solka. Fascinating.
Solka.
Oh, Solka's making the rounds then today.
Oh, they have.
So
this is a really interesting matchup. So they got. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, they've got Solka, which is really good at doing damage from far away. Then they've got DrGloryHogg, who like just kind of hangs out and just gets stuck somewhere. You can't move him. And then you've got Goldar that does a bunch of pulling.
No, yeah. So this team particular, I think, is really going for board control more than anything. Like they're going to take advantage of these challenges, whereas either controlling destruction area or controlling the enemy deployment. Like it's going to be tough to take them out once they're really planted in there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Board control. We talked about this a little bit last time. Board control is the most important thing that you can do in this game because it's not necessarily about getting in there and getting up in everybody's face all the time. It's more about where can I maneuver my people at the right time and then stay there for next round, which is quite hard to do. It's that whole stay there for next round portion that's tough.
But so here's why I think this particular combo is really fascinating. First of all, I'm curious to see if they did a competitive draft and which character did they decide not to include, because the opposing player, which I'm not sure if it's either Daniel or David, they're using a team up that's all about heavy attack and combos. Like basically Xu Zhao is excellent at crippling, right? He gets in there, he's very offensive, he has good health, and he can be extremely deadly. You know, one of his special abilities was I think the term is Jade. Let's see. Yeah, we got the flash of Jade right here. And that flash of Jade is amazing. Basically, if he has everything he needs to make that happen, he could potentially wipe out at least 2 characters at a single blow. And not just that, this is going to pair off with Corvash. So see there that it says bloodied. Bloody basically means that after a certain amount or threshold of health, the character has different effects that can apply to him. And Corvash takes advantage of bloodied every single time. So
that's a good combination then.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so
that's
why
exciting.
did we ever invite Jesse on the show?
I should always go for the premium
Why have a
Quackalope.
duck when you can go right for the goose?
Right for the goose.
Thank you, and I appreciate so much that you know my actual name. I'm just using Jan as a pseudonym. My real name is Goose. Okay, so thank you for noting that.
Think about the game. There's lots of ducks, right? It's just duck, 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 duck. But there's only one goose, and they make you get up and jump around.
They do. They make you work for it, is what it is.
So we're at some point we're planning on changing. Oh, I can't see it. There we go. We're planning on changing this to a goose at some point. You know, we'll see. We'll get there. We'll get there.
So Pedde says that they're hoping for a draw during this particular tournament. That's nice.
I hope your kid wants to listen to that same song one more time.
Let's just cut everybody's points. I don't think anybody would be happy about a draw.
If you look, though, the first 2 things that they're going for is having a champion each deployment area, which is near impossible the very first turn.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way you're going to book it all the way across. It'd be really hard to do. You'd have to have 3 movement cards.
I would be insanely surprised if anybody ever did that. And
then the next one they have coming up is have 2 more champions in trap hexes. So this is a really interesting set of first challenges to get going, because you don't necessarily want to jump in a bunch of traps early on. But it might be worth it while you have full health, so that you just, on your next go-round, whenever they shift, you just get that 1 victory, and then you just move on from there and hope that you didn't take too much damage.
So if anybody did actually make it to the other side in the first round and get that, do you give them like a standing ovation for that? You're like, bravo, that was mwah,
I would concede immediately. I would be like, okay, I'm outmatched.
Flip the board, yeah.
I'm outmatched. You're just like, no, like that's on you. That's you.
Now, real talk. How do we get a pig with the antelope ears on it like that? That's what we really need is a hogalope. And I would wear that shirt, a hogalope shirt.
Hello, Dan. How are you doing?
Hey, let's make it happen. Fan suggestions. If we get enough people to suggest that, 100% will do it.
I can guarantee you that I can at least get Battle Cry and Pedde to say that they want that. They won't buy it, but they will say they want it.
Are you putting money on that?
That's
Battle Cry and Peter, is that true? Are you actually open to doing this?
Pedde will definitely say he wants a hogalope shirt for sure.
He wants a hogalope shirt?
Yeah, I think 100%.
I love the name, hogalope. It's beautiful.
Yeah, hogalope would be amazing.
Oh, you're all doing so well. Oh, thank you.
Now Jesse's here spying on us.
There we go.
Oh, look at his baby pictures.
Oh.
He has not changed at all. In fact, I would say he's actually gone downhill.
What?
Just in general, like life-wise, face-wise.
He has more hair in that picture,
body-wise,
and you can't even see the hair. So imagine that. It's pretty hardcore. By the way,
about his haircut when he was on last time. About what did he say was his Arkansas haircut, where he's like, take a little bit off the ears, and they were just like, zzz, zzz.
So what were the goals again? I'm sorry. What were the goals again?
Oh my god!
I know champion in one area.
Champion each area, and then in each trap, or 2 trap hexes.
in 2 trap hexes. I hate that one so
There's
much.
Only 4, so
I hate, but at least I guess it comes up early, so it's like and risky early.
And unfortunately, no one has right now Darren, right? Darren would be the character to really capitalize on trap hexes, right? Because everything she does is
exactly. She just, even if you take the damage, is worth it because she does get more powerful. The interesting though is that the actual advantage is for the second player, because if that second player can go sit on those traps now, take whatever damage it is, then the trophy is going to move, and it's going to actually be worth the trophy by the time their next turn comes up. So
absolutely. Oh, that's good. That's a good insight in that and on the timing of that with first player versus second. Well, first player versus second player, because as first player you might not want to try to go for that. You might set yourself up more to maybe push them out of those trap hexes. So then you're like one play ahead on that while they're trying to get in those. The
best thing to do is always to set yourself up whenever it's in that 1 zone. And set yourself up so that when it flips, the round ends, it gets moved into the 2 zone, and then you're just sitting there waiting for it to happen and potentially getting 2 instead.
So someone else that goes well with Zoo is Marutz. Marutz is my favorite melee attack champion. Mine too, Dan. Like Marutz is my tiger. That's my tiger.
So it's fascinating because Corvash takes advantage of other characters being bloodied. Marutz just enjoys the pain. He gets power from being in pain. So when Marutz is bloodied is when he gets extremely dangerous. So he's what I like to call, and I'm going to be using a lot of MOBA terms during this. So Marutz is what you call a late game carry, right? It's a character that you're keeping in kind of like at the edges, trying to bring in, but then as you start getting to the climax of the entire session, that's when you bring them out and you start seeing their true colors fly. And Marutz is going to be really powerful right there at the end when things are in real, like a lot of contention.
Poor Marutz, I always make sure that like he's always bloodied as much as possible. And so the poor guy just ends up dying multiple times.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's a really fine balance.
Get back up there. Go do your thing.
So Kat, I want you to highlight one particular comment from one of our fans here. It was sent at 11:12 by the name of Jesse Samuel Anderson. I think it's a fantastic comment that we should probably highlight at some point. It's really good. Yeah.
That's fair. I think Jesse just has the advantage of being the first person I met. If I knew that there was a goose to the duck, I would have skipped the duck.
Then you would have just gone directly to the goose.
Yeah, like why would you start with like a little baby and then go to a man, right?
Oh, no.
It's just like the game, duck, duck, goose. You go always for the goose.
The goose is the exciting one. That is true.
Jesse. Oh.
He can't even
here, but himself today.
He chose to keep his commitments elsewhere.
Well, that's on him for keeping his other commitments. Okay, so.
And I'm capitalizing
already going too.
So I'm capitalizing on that, how that player is capitalizing on the destruction zone. So it seems like they're already kind of prepping for that card to potentially come out in the display at some point. Like they already have a really good fixing right there. Like it's going to be tough to move them. You got Corvash that has a lot of health in there, and Goldar as well that can, has that pulling, but also can push a little bit. So I wonder what is going to be the next thing that pops up here.
That's risky though too, because you don't know 100% for certain if it's going to come out. But if it does, like you've just set yourself up for some gold right there. You're like, yes, vindication. But it is a risky play.
No, for sure. And so what is that? So the last card, so we just got focus from Sushao. Your champions gain +1 attack and also an additional movement for the rest of the turn. So I wonder if he is going to go ahead and take advantage of that additional modifier. And then we have Solka back of the base. Oh, look at that. We actually moved forward.
All right, what else we got going on here?
Have a champion each deployment area still there. Yep, and then it's the creation area.
Oh,
so yeah, somebody did score that trap one right away, which is kind of what we were thinking.
That was fast. That was fast. They're moving fast. Ooh, this top 16 is going to get tough. Like, I think when we saw the first rounds, we had a lot of like those 5-0s and stuff like that. And I think here is going to be like just really tight tournament on this. That is so crazy.
Well, and I think they did the smart thing. So, for example, DrGloryHogg has 2 defense, right? So regardless of what trap card you might have released, it's very likely that he was protected. And then you got Shusao in that particular team up that has the highest health among everybody. So I think they did really well in capitalizing on that for sure. I
think so, absolutely. No one skips the duck, says Jesse. No one skips the duck. Is that later? Are you going to be in trouble later?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm going to get a talking to. I'm going to get quack, quack, quack.
Vague threat. It's a very vague threat. Nobody skips the duck.
Okay, and so we have a new viewer here directly from Facebook. Hello, Eric. How are you doing? Oh, hello. How do you say that? Hello. I don't know.
Hello.
Hello.
I think it's hello.
Hello. Oh, hello.
I think you do it better than me. Yeah, absolutely.
I watch a lot of British TV. I'm pretty well versed. Hello.
Oh, and also, if anybody from the tournament is listening to us today, make sure to go ahead and drop what characters you're using, maybe something a little bit as to why you chose those characters.
Like what
in chat, in the comments. Yeah,
what are you hoping to use?
I always really enjoy those comments whenever they get brought up in chat and everything. So we can talk about that with all of you out there. I really enjoy that a lot.
You really want this mouse, don't you?
No, I'm just looking over there. I have two places to look for the boards. I'm like, oh, over here. Oh, over there. Wait, it's the same thing. Back over here.
So Corvash just actually, so this is really interesting. I wish I knew which player is which right now so I can mention them by name, but I'm just going to go by Corvash. So Corvash just actually went on top of a trap from what I saw and got a 3 damage applied to him and went directly for Goldar. So it seems like he's trying to push him away as much as possible so that he cannot take advantage of that push and pull mechanic that he's so specialized on.
As far as the actual players in the little hands, they should match what player the actual person is on there.
Is David and purple is DeathOfRaven.
Yeah, so if you see their little hands moving certain characters, you can kind of get an indication as to which one is moving what.
You know what? I don't do good with logic, apparently. That's probably where I should start from.
But
yeah.
In-depth strategy, though, super important, okay? Oh, wow. Mythic Games. I switched the labels in the spice rack in the kitchen. And I'm not in trouble right now, but the time is coming, or cumin.
You know, they sat down with that written down on a scrap of paper, and they're like, at some point in time, this is going to come up, and I've got it ready.
That's right. So they saw that, and they're like, now is the time. Now is the time. Like, literally, now is the time.
Anybody else get the feeling that is like a wonderful dad joke? I get dad joke vibes from that all over the place, but it was really good.
Yeah. You get that on your 3rd kid. Once you had your 3rd kid, those types of jokes unlock. It's like progression levels, right? And you get to specialize. You want to go even more into the puns or more into hi hungry, I'm dads.
Aww.
You know, you got to really decide which way you want to go.
Yeah. So everybody, we are doing Swiss rounds today at this tournament. So it is best out of the 3 rounds, with points being totaled per a win, a loss, and a draw, which is really nice. I always like Swiss rounds. I think that they're probably the most fair, especially whenever you have an hour limit and maybe you will have a draw in a game. I feel like it's pretty fair with that. Hello, Michael. How are you doing?
Oh, hello. Hello, Mike. How you doing, man?
That's right.
Yeah, he's a good friend. So where are the cards being played? I want to see what they are doing.
Exactly
right
who
now.
what they're playing.
Yeah, so right now they're moving around the Jade Tiger. That's actually my nickname in high school.
A lie.
That's a lie.
I literally was in high school with you, so that's a lie.
So here's some of the cards that we're using right here. We're using the chop. Let me actually see if I can get you a little bit better.
Using the chop?
Using the chop.
I use that on my kid all the time.
Lifesteal. Okay, so I think Soka just gave a little bit of life to Su Zhao, using that as a little bit just now. Oh, interesting. And so this is it. So look at this. So they're I think they're very clear as to how they're using their character. They're keeping Soka in the back. And I feel that's a wonderful strategy because Soka is actually really delicate, right? In certain aspects. She has 8 health, which is obviously really, really good. But one of the main things about Soka is her capability of her special power, for example. You can draw one and then plan one. And I always felt that Soka is more of a support. And you always want to make sure that your support characters are way in the back, protected and waiting for their time to shine.
Absolutely.
So for me, it feels like she's going to try and surprise them at some point and really I don't know, get in the right position to take over. For example, there's another card that I love about her, which is called Spirit Slither. It has a lot of movement. It lets her move 3. And
I love that one.
Yeah, it's like a spirit going through you, you know? It's just
right?
like it teleports through you. And it just takes away your defense. So depending on how he's able to kind of pull them in little by little to their side, I think they're keeping Solka there, expecting that they might go for the deployment one, right? Where you have to be in your enemy's deployment. So they're keeping there, trying to defend their base a little bit, you know, giving a warning like, hey, maybe don't come close. Maybe stay away.
And she's also really good when you keep one character kind of back like that. They're good for a pinch whenever it does come up where you just need like that one extra character to push that control over to your side. You can kind of dash in with that last character, which is always kind of nice.
I totally agree with that.
You're
Having
not all in.
A character left just behind, like just on the outskirts there, does give you a lot of versatility on where you need to move with them. And at the last second, they could run in there and try to get a goal or get something or be in a place where it's going to be advantageous for you in the next round. Like, it's fantastic support character play. Solka is one of my favorites as well. So
I also love her character design. It is so nice.
Right? It's so creepy and fantastic. I love it.
Well, right now, so this is cool too. Like, so that the other Solka is in striking distance of the Solka right now, right? There, she has her darting strikes, which can hit in an indirect hit, and she also has her life drain. So I'm kind of curious why the other player decided to get in there. It's either going to take advantage of that, or might suffer the consequences. We'll see.
They're getting set up for this though, because you've got your destruction area is going to come up and be worth points here once the round flips.
But then the yellow is going to move to 2 trophies here really soon as well. So, and what, we only have one character in that?
Yeah, DrGloryHogg, which is going to be the toughest character to get out of yellow right now.
Interesting. That's going to be interesting. Okay. So Steve says, been looking forward to this. I missed it last week's broadcast. Glad to be here for this one. Welcome to the chat, Steve.
We're glad
Thank you so much.
Steve.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Be sure to participate.
Is fun. Yes.
I mean, we like Jan, but I mean, it's always better to have other people here too. Or it gets really awkward. It's just Jan basically giving us compliments and me making sick digs at him, and it just gets weird.
If you leave us lots of comments and everything and talk to us about what you think the strategy is, what strategy is happening here as well, because it is a two-sided street on the conversation.
It does seem like the general strategy of both teams in this arena is to play cards.
Oh,
it looks like both teams want to play about 3 cards per turn.
About 3?
And then pass the turn to the enemy, and then drawing a new hand to be ready with reactions.
Whoa, that's fascinating.
Deep. Getting deep in here right now.
I've also seen a lot of movement on the board where a lot of the characters actually want to move and then potentially attack.
Okay, all right. I see where you're going with all this strategy and stuff. And I
stay tuned after the show for my 30-minute expose on what's actually,
exactly
that. Move and attack, or do you move and attack, or do you attack and then move? It's really up to the cards. You never know.
It's really hard to choose between the two sometimes, you know?
It's all about the heart of the cards and what they want you to do.
And so this is, I love this move that they just made. So David, I believe, so apparently David is going to be right now on our left-hand side, and he uses Solka and uses one of her force abilities, which actually caused DrGloryHogg to get out of that location, which is great since, you know, you can't really penetrate that armor of his.
Yeah, that's a big one, to make sure that they're moved out instead of leaving them there and trying to hit them. Because I feel like a lot of people do get entranced in that, oh, I just want to kill this character. I just want to hit them. I want to get their life total down. And that's not always the best option. In fact,
no, it's not.
I would say at least half the time or maybe even more than half the time, that is not the best option. Usually it's just about trying to maneuver yourself in the right places at the right time, as opposed to taking characters down.
Yep. And they also got lucky because DrGloryHogg has his hold ground ability, right? So if they had that reaction in their hand, then we're only counting on Solka to take advantage of that particular moment. Yeah, you know, it would have been over. It would have been 2 points for yellow. So good on them.
And to let everybody know, this is being played on Tabletopia for the entire tournament. So if you're interested in looking at any of the tournaments going on right now, make sure to head on over to there and you can spectate on any tournament you would like. So that's super fantastic. You can actually get down in there and see what everybody is doing as well.
Did you want to post the room number for this one? It's this number if you want to do it. I don't know if you want to or not.
You sure can.
Like through...
Sure. Let me see here.
Okay, so Xu Zhao is coming into the main destruction zone. He's trying to basically contest that Solka that's there, and they also just moved their own Solka to the yellow.
Yeah,
I wonder
both
if
red and yellow are potential victories, right? You're going to get potential trophies there.
Okay, and so we just passed the round. We got a new card up there. Let's see, what do we have? Oh, another
Whenever
yellow.
the round does pass over and like the new card comes out, it's always like the most tense thing ever to watch. You're like, what's coming up next? Is it going to benefit me? Is it going to be close? Oh, okay.
So 2 more champions adjacent to Ragel's statue. And then you also have, I mean, right there, control the creation area. So you've got a lot of different things to do. Now, that one's not worth points right now. That one's worth 2. So do you wait so it moves and that one's worth 2 and that one's worth 1 and potentially just win the game? But can you wait? Is also the other question.
Getting 3 trophies would be fantastic, but I'm wondering if everybody's going to start maneuvering for that side over there and then leave the middle open.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So
but their way they're set up is just like 2, 2, and 2. Like, so spread out. Oh, this is going to be tough.
Yep. It's got it. So right now, it's going to be 50-50. I feel that I believe DrGloryHogg is going to be with David. So I feel that David has maybe a higher opportunity of taking that yellow area because I believe that the Solka that's in the destruction zone is his. So he might move. He might try and push the other Solka away, get in there, and then defend her and get her other Solka right behind DrGloryHogg. Right, and it's going to be really hard for them to kind of contest that, especially with the rest of his characters being on the other side of the board on blue, which is not really coming into contention right now at all. And another thing, both deployment zones are completely empty. So somebody might want to run in there. So none of these characters actually have great maneuverability. That is not their forte. So if anybody did have the perfect combination of cards and wanted to just rush that and get to the farthest possible hex, I think they could potentially make it happen.
Yeah, there is always the ability to just move. I mean, you have that basic ability just to actually move.
DrGloryHogg, the Howard Costel of Super Fantasy Brawl.
But I do have to agree with you, Jan. I think it's 50-50 that either David will win or DeathOfRaven, or there's a draw. I think that is going to be pretty much how this game will turn out.
I don't know how you get your information, Doctor, but I feel like it's very accurate. Like
it is 100% accurate.
It is
50% of the time.
Oh well, you know.
And that right there was a trap they just laid down, just so you know what that is.
Oh,
that
really?
Was a trap? That was,
thank you. Thank you so much.
Corvash has gotten,
what's going to happen?
Corvash has gotten really unlucky with these traps. The first time he went on that same trap, he got 3, and now he got 2. So he's already lost 5 health in total to just the board itself. Yes.
Yeah.
Whenever you land on a trap, you have to sing the trap song.
Traps, 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 traps.
Everybody!
Right?
Let's take a look and see what everyone's health is looking at, right? Because like you were saying, this is looking a little bit rough. Ooh, not that.
Oh, wow. He's right at the precipice right now.
Right there.
6, 7. 7 out of 8, it looks like.
Wow.
So the only way that he can save Corvash is by getting his Solka nearby, doing a lifesteal that does a lot of damage, and just transferring that to Corvash. Let me also see if Corvash has a little bit of potential for healing here.
And look, if you look on the other side, we only got 3 damage here. So this whole team is just doing fine. Like, they're not at risk of dying anytime soon. So it's interesting that neither one of them is really trying to burn the other player down. They're all going for control.
Oh, speaking of, it just actually happened. Goldar just took down.
Did they get it? They took out there?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was going to be too tough. There was no way that he could get his Solka in place and also, take advantage of that lifesteal. His entire team does not have a lot of support characters right now. So any damage that's there is pretty much permanent.
Yeah, it's just going to be what it's going to be. That's the worst, though, to get damaged and get taken out of a area that you need to be in. You're like, I'm not making that back. Like, I can't move back in. I can't struggle to get my little foot in the door. No, like, it's just.
So it looks like Fatal Papercut joined the stream. If you want to just go ahead and block him now before he consults me, that'd be best.
Fatal is saying that you get all of your information directly from Fatal. I didn't know that.
Agreed.
Also, Fatal, very knowledgeable. Thank you so much.
And I feel like it's best that if you play this game 2 or 4. I feel like that's either 2 players or 4 players.
2 players or 4 players.
Is the way that the game was meant to be enjoyed.
So 2v2, 4v4 teams.
No, 2v2 or 1 versus 1.
Oh.
Not 4 versus 4. That'd be a lot of board
1v1.
space.
That's true. You put two boards
you
together
use the
on
same
top of
numbers.
each other, and then it becomes like 3D chess, basically. It's 3D Super Fantasy Brawl.
I love the jokes where, have you seen Queen's Gambit yet?
Have not.
No, I need to.
It's a really good one.
Gingers, so that's, you know, I'm not allowed to watch that show. That's true the whole time. It's horrible.
So basically the entire show is about Anna Joy Taylor being a prodigy in chess, and people have now gotten into memes about doing her. So they put her against Spock doing 4D chess. They have her playing Monopoly. They have her doing Operation as well. It's fantastic. I recommend people look for that if you've seen the show. It's pretty hilarious.
Now we just need the meme of her playing you in a game.
Playing what?
Exactly.
Playing Jan.
Playing Jan? Oh, there you go.
In 3D Super Fantasy
3D.
Brawl. You can take the Super Fantasy Brawl board and then put it on the Holly board, and that's a 3D board, and just start going there.
So, do we have any new...
so look at this. Look at this. Ahsoka is doing exactly what I mentioned to go into that deployment zone.
Which all they have to do now is just use the movement to move out here with this character, and they should be in both.
How many rounds are left on that one card? Is this like the final chance to get it? It's got to be close to it, right?
It's getting burned now.
In the one.
Yeah, it's like one on that.
Yeah, so
imagine that going at the last minute and snagging that up at the last minute. Oh my gosh!
And it's still the same cards. I mean, we still want to get the Ragal statue, the creation area, and then the destruction area. So it's all about red and yellow. It's all about that ketchup and mustard, baby.
Dan makes a really good comment. Taking out Corvash could help the Corvash player. Corvash has many dash abilities and could rush into the area to gain 2 trophies. That's true. If he gets taken out and was in an unmaneuverable position and then can maybe dash in there and hopefully get the save on that. That's fair.
Yeah, there's definitely times where it's worth it, especially whenever you have that quest to the trophy to go ahead and get in both deployment areas. You rush for the other player's deployment area, let them kill your person, even if you have like a reaction, just so you can step out and be right in position.
Right, absolutely. That's beneficial. I'll let that happen whenever sometimes I see somebody coming towards my area and there is one of those cards where you have to overtake the other person's area. I'll purposely let somebody die just to come back in to hopefully take that area again.
Hold on, let me just take a look at something here real quick. That is a lie. You have never done that. Yeah, it says it right here.
How dare you? I guess I have.
That you have never done that, and that every game of Super Fantasy Brawl you played against me, so that is a lie.
One of my characters is mostly dead most of the time, okay?
That is accurate. That is accurate. You like to play fast and loose with your life.
And that is the character I use for that, okay? I always have one in the backup.
I'm sure she'll do it later and then claim that she's always done it.
Wow.
That's one of the advantages of her only playing that game with me. I'm like, no, you haven't.
I believe I have. I have.
No.
How dare you?
So
How dare you? That's it. You're getting kicked off the stream.
That's fair. That is fair.
So Sushao just step in there into that yellow area. And again, I still can't tell who Soka is whose right now because I haven't really seen the hand move it yet, but I'm assuming that the Soka that's in yellow is actually DeathOfRaven's. So if that's true, he has a lot of control on yellow. And I don't know, it'll be tough for DrGloryHogg to get them both out of there, especially because his characters are pretty far away right now.
You have to catch it in the very, very beginning. But if you notice, this Soka has actually a little trophy underneath it to differentiate it. I'm just not sure also which one is which. And there goes our trophies are moving now.
Yep.
And did you get the 2?
So let's see. We got a new objective coming in. This is good. This is really good. This is great for David. Look at him. He's perfectly positioned to take that. However,
it's take a little time getting over there.
Well, again, we just had a player say that Corvash is able to kind of rush and get in there potentially, maybe just in time. It just depends on what they want to focus on right now because they have a lot to balance.
Definitely, absolutely. Because I mean, that yellow area, we still have the other card up for it, right? Because it just moved into the first trophy area.
Definitely, absolutely. We still have that.
Definitely, absolutely, probably. Thank you. It's very, you're adding so much.
So look at this. So we just got shield slam in. Yep. So he's going to move 1 and he's also going to be able to move forward a little bit. He has a dash of 2, which means he has to move in a straight line. So I believe he would be able to move in there. Yeah. Oh, that is awesome. Good for him.
It is always very interesting with this game. It can start off kind of slow, and then once you hit that kind of midpoint, you can see like 2 or 3 trophies just bam, 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 and all of a sudden it's over.
Right. It happens so quickly, you know?
And it really is. This game is more about the manipulation of pushing and pulling other players and getting in those right zones at the right time for when the trophies happen.
That's
more
why
than it's just an all-out kill fest. You can go that route, but it is so much harder to burn down characters 5 times than it is to just mostly work those angles and then maybe get like 1 kill to get that final trophy. That's typically how I win, is I try to get it to where it triggers, where I get like the last 2 trophies I need, and then for the very last trophy, just boom, kill, like focus all out, kill a character, and then be like, that's it, it's over.
That's why I really like that 2 support character and then 1 frontline character setup whenever I play, because I feel like that's super strong, very maneuverable, and then you have 1 person just taking the punishment and then getting back in there. I really like that strategy.
And so speaking of strategies, I feel that, so I finally know whose Soka is whose. The Soka in Destruction Zone is actually David's, okay? And so what's happening here, there's a really interesting decision point that has to be made now. So David just positioned his Soka right in the center of the field, trying to get that destruction area. But we know that Goldar is actually trying to prime himself for that blue point, right? So... oh, actually, I'm sorry. This is David having complete control right now. He's controlling all 3 areas a little bit, and Goldar is really well positioned. His Soka is right there in Destruction Zone. So, wow, I wonder who DeathOfRaven is going to try and employ. Is he going to get his Sushao to jump over to that Soka, try and take her out, or is he just going to try and capitalize on that yellow again? It's gonna be tough.
Scoop this round here really fast in the next few turns. It sounds like.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like he's well off right now. He has his Jorgen protecting Soka from that Sushao a little bit. I don't believe that Soka, the other character Soka, has enough right now to move through to get to that location. However, if that Soka has her special ability that she can move through everything, that could be really good. And here we go. That's an indirect strike.
Double, yeah.
Ooh, and is she in range? Okay.
Who's she hitting? Like who's taking this damage? Who's getting all this damage?
I agree that something is about to happen.
Doctor, jeez. Worst doctor ever.
So it seems like she's going for the Soka. And that might mean that if Sushao has the right cards, they could potentially make it over there and take Soka out and also get control of red. If they have the cards necessary.
Soka on Soka violence has been on the rise.
I was excited to see the 2 Sulkas in this tournament because I feel like last time we didn't see Sulka too much, and that's one of my favorites.
She only showed up like once.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite characters.
Her ability to just do stuff across the board, like some of her mental abilities, it's too good.
And those options like Slither and stuff that allow you to move through things where you can move through traps unharmed, you can move through pillars unharmed. Like, it's so advantageous for you, you know?
It seems like people are leaning more towards Nevermore, who also has like the fly
Nevermore
ability,
is good too.
The swoop, and also does that. I guess.
Yes.
People and
Look at that. I anticipated this move. They did amazing. Look at that.
It's almost like you did it.
Are you playing this? Are you?
Well, I told you I can multitask pretty well, so
that would be really slick. That would be kind of cheaty, but I like it.
Yes,
I had that happen in Magic the Arena one time. I was playing it, and somebody was broadcasting it because they had like their Twitch name broadcast or something, and I had her jump on it, and they were like, "My opponent can totally see my hand now since I'm broadcasting this. I just see that GloryHoundd is is viewing me on Twitch," and I was like, awkward. I was like, but if your name happens to be your Twitch handle, I'm gonna.
That's on you. That's on you.
Yeah, you're broadcasting. I'm gonna take a peek.
Oh wow. Okay, so I am very impressed with DeathOfRaven just probably changed the entire game's outcome right now. So here's what's happening. DeathOfRaven is contesting on yellow. Yellow has. It's just 1 point, but 1 point can make all the difference. And now he has complete control of red. DrGloryHogg, on the other hand, has to now make a really important decision. I don't know what cards they may have in hand, but do they go into red and try and push Sushao off, but then give that 1 point over to DeathOfRaven, or do they stay in place and just try and ping Sushao a little bit? Because let's see. Right now... yeah, so we have push.
So that was clean. Sushao cannot be killed in 1 turn.
Exactly.
Well, potentially can, but it's going to be an all-out focused 3-card type of situation.
And here's the other thing. The only way that you could get Soufrouga out of that place is by having a very specific card, which is Mighty Blow. Mighty Blow is going to be the only card right now that could maybe move Soufrouga, which is a push of 2. Besides that, the only other card that I see here is probably a smaller push of 1, which won't be enough. And they are actually, and they actually already played that one. So, oof, interesting. Oh, looks like Solka is back on the field already. Corvash has not left at all. The base of operations.
They just jumped right in there real fast. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, Goldar moving.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, it seems like they scored blue actually. That's why we're seeing Corvash move so quickly.
Okay.
Got it. Smart.
Can
we see what the new goal is? What's the new goal that just
we cannot.
We cannot.
But thank you for asking.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
Control the enemy deployment area.
Interesting.
Which is fine if you're already roundabout in that way, but if you're on the opposite side, it's not really worth trying to move 1 or 2 characters over there. It's only like a casual goal, right? Like you're like, I was in the neighborhood.
David is so close though, as far as he only has 2 more trophies left on this. It could be scooped up in 1 card because we have that red area right there.
I really love that the Solkas are just like targeting each other the entire game. It's like, I'm the better Solka.
Well, it is. It's the Solka on Solka violence.
Yeah, it's Solka on Solka violence.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty intense.
So Tommy Clay asks, is this game available yet? So Tommy, you can purchase this online, I believe, on Mythic Games site.
If not, buy Reichbusters. Also a great game.
Also a good game.
Slightly different feel.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I believe the Kickstarters did deliver, and you are able to either pre-order or order it right now. So absolutely.
It's going to come in Q1, I think, of next year. So it's
Q1 of next year.
Yeah, it's coming soon. It's coming soon for sure.
Coming very soon.
I like the business lingo. It's good.
I try to do my best.
Some would also call Q1 spring. Well, you know.
Spring? What?
Maybe.
Spring?
Spring of next year? No, I haven't. We don't have spring in Arizona. Okay.
That's fair.
So
when it hits 70 degrees, it's dead of winter.
All hot all the time.
And then when it hits 100, it's like, it's normal summertime. It's going to probably go up another 20 degrees.
It's fine. Summer and minimal winter.
So going back to DrGlory, DrGlory has not moved at all for about 2 to 3 rounds now, I think.
Right.
He stayed in that exact same place, really pushing to get that 1 point.
He might be asleep.
That could be it.
On the field. Could be napping on the field. Yeah. It is possible,
That character has been known to fall asleep during a match.
It's all that beer they're probably drinking.
You know he is. That's what's behind his shield. There's a flagon.
It's just a huge
shield that he's taking a sip.
It's just meat in there. No, but so right now, please correct me if I'm wrong, but yellow is you cannot take yellow anymore. The only person that could have taken yellow was going to be DeathOfRaven, and now that's out of that.
And then it's out.
It's out of okay. So so now nobody can score yellow, unfortunately. It's red. No, that's it. So red, the only way that we're gonna get it. Oh, Corvash is coming back in. Excellent.
Is he going straight for there?
Again, tough characters to get out of a particular zone, especially Corvash now that's full health.
Moving them out, unless you have some other ability like the dash or like Nevermore, whenever you can bring a character to them and stuff, sometimes it is getting them to the right place at the right time on that, because it does take at least probably about 2 rounds to get them in there, because the board space, although seems very small, is actually very vast for the characters getting across there. Which is very surprising when you're looking at the board.
Let's see. So, okay, interesting. Corvash just did an indirect attack. I'm assuming they're going for DrGlory. Okay, fascinating. So this is going to be Hell Half No Fury. If the target is bloodied, is DrGlory bloodied right now? Actually, I would be. Yeah. See if
other way.
No. Okay.
No. That would be a big fat no, Jan.
That's tough. So right now, the most that they're going to be able to get on DrGlory is a single damage. Oh, and we just got a reaction, and that is, nullified completely.
Oh, that's tough. Nothing's worse whenever you get nullified completely on your plans. You're like,
It looks like one of the other matches, Van Raku won versus Bwaaaane 5-2.
Wow.
So that match is already over, which makes sense because they have about an hour and it is 9:45. So I'm
Getting
sure there's
close
other
to that
results
hour
in
mark
there.
on there, yeah.
Yeah.
Good information's on Mythic's Discord channel if anyone's on there. I don't know if that's open just for the players or if it's an open channel or not.
It should be in their tournament discussion portion where all of you could go ahead and go to Mythic's Discord channel and then just basically pull the codes from there, put them into Tabletopia, and then be able to spectate on those if you're interested.
Yeah,
and that we just see the win right here. There's our 5 trophies.
Oh, wow. Out of nowhere.
Boom.
Excellent. Yeah, what are
So, yeah.
So, Dan, unfortunately, we have a winner already.
It
wasn't
doesn't
enough.
matter anymore.
Yeah, David, good for you. David Christy, the winner.
Soka, Goldar, and DrGrun. Got it.
Oh, that was good.
Who and DrGrun?
It's Soka, Goldar, and DrGrun.
Goldar and DrGrun.
Yeah, so that was our push-pull character, our You're Not Moving Me for Anything character, and Soka, the Mind Mage.
You know, David really went in there and took full advantage of the board right away. Was just getting trophy after trophy, like totally decimated that board.
Which is
crazy.
DeathOfRaven, I felt, went for a really heavy attack build, right? He was trying to be very offensive, and I don't feel that offense came out enough in order to really contest David, unfortunately. You know, we almost never saw anybody bloodied, which was Corvash's main mechanic, right? Sushao was not able to really jump where he needed to, activate that Jade power, and bring everyone down so that Corvash can come in with a late carry and just wipe everyone. Yeah. It's an interesting play if you're more of an offensive player, but unfortunately, just here, that perfect combination of being able to take control of each one of the zones was too powerful.
Absolutely, and I do feel like that people lean towards getting those heavy characters where they're going to do heavy damage and stuff, and it's not the way to go. Not the way to go in Super Fantasy Brawl. It's very deceiving. I think in a lot of tournament style games, it's just amp up the character with the most damage as possible, and that's just not advantageous for you, like at all, in Super Fantasy Brawl.
We actually posted a video today of like beginner strategies for people that are getting into Super Fantasy Brawl, and I believe that one of the points that we touch on there is that this is not a game about focusing on kills, you know, which is very traditional in skirmish games. It's common sense.
Yeah.
Here, it's a lot more tactical, right? It's almost to a certain point. I saw in some forums that people compared it to like the type of thought process in chess where you have to anticipate where everyone's going. You have to know what location is the appropriate one to have at what time, and have your ace in your sleeve just in case something happens, right?
Absolutely.
And one thing that I'm not sure if we're seeing enough of, and it could be just because of the camera angles, planning in this game is so important because you want to make sure that you have that card at the right time to basically run over your opponent when you're trying to see that through. So that's definitely something that I want to see a little bit more of. We actually do have even some characters that specialize in planning, which is mostly going to be support characters overall.
Oh, absolutely. Planning is key to this game. And people might run into it thinking, oh yeah, this is just a little skirmish game where you do the most damage to everybody. But planning is so important. You got to think ahead, not just for your next turn, but your next turn as you go around, because those points don't score, those trophies don't score until basically you have to take the area and then the next round for you. So you're going to be passing over the other player's turn, and a lot can happen in that other player's turn. It's so mind-boggling because it's such a small game and easy game to comprehend and get into, but then like the strategy is actually very vast whenever you start sitting down, especially with players who know what they're doing, because they're going to take advantage of all that, and then the synergy that each character makes with other characters, you know?
Well, and
looking for another table. It looks like most of them are actually wrapping up now.
Right. We are approaching that 1 hour mark. So most tables will be finishing up. We'll be getting some results in here soon for everybody. 4 to 5. So unlucky for Soufrouga.
And so GloryHoundd, we got Dan Recruz that just gave us a good recommendation on planning characters, people that could really take advantage of that. He said that Lorelel, Colel, Goldar, and Solka are good for deck draw and planning setup. And he had mentioned it before.
Yeah, I love Lorelei. She's the druid, and she gets to do some really crazy stuff.
And just having
she
that
can move around, do healing range. She can plan
trap portion because Lorelei does the traps where she.
No, that's the really good trap one is Derwin.
Yeah,
Darren.
Lorelei's the druid. She's got 2 armor, but she's like really weak. She's only got 4 health points.
But being able to stand on a trap and get in those positions that most people can't, or where you put down a trap and then you're unable to pass that. I mean, she can overtake those areas very easily. And I really, really like that, you know?
No, yeah, she's fantastic. And Glory, going back to what we were talking about of having understanding about this game, I feel that another level that players, as they start getting familiarized, I've seen people that have probably played this already 40 times, knowing this deck, this small deck of cards right here, having memorized the 11 objectives, what's coming, what's still left, and what can I expect. It's all about probability, right? It's all about like from those first 2 cards that you get, you already got a lot of information. And there's definitely capitalization on locations specifically. I think there's 2 of each, or mostly 2 of each of the cards that have to do in some way or another with the main zones on the board. So it just gives you a lot to do. So if you know that at the beginning you get a lot of enemy deployment cards, then you know like, oh, you know what? If I start taking control of zones right now, I'm probably going to do really well after, which was actually what I think David noticed very early on and is why he kind of spread out his characters to each one of the zones, just waiting for the right time to take those points.
I think that's huge. And I think you'll see a lot of super competitive players, people who have been to tournaments a lot, do that and memorize what cards basically are in every single deck because you only have 6 cards for each character. So if you see cards come out, you know that those aren't going to be refreshed or they're going to not have those abilities until later.
Yeah.
We actually have a match. Oh, you've got it pulled up. I'm a noob.
Excellent.
Also, this person's an S-noob doge. S-noob doge. So this is already, it's 1-1 right now, but we're like 50 minutes in. So I don't know. This is
how
probably
did that happen? Maybe a draw on that. Oh my gosh.
So for this, it's almost going to be more important just to score a trophy to try to win.
That's true, because if time goes out on this, all they need is that 1.
And what's interesting with this game is that although it doesn't have a lot of cards, you only got like, a couple cards, like 6 or 7 cards per character. You see them a lot. So if you can memorize them, it really helps you out because you can be like, there's a good chance they're going to have that card soon.
Yep, exactly. And also once you play something, it's a load off, right? Because you don't have to worry about that ever again for at least until they're able to reshuffle, which usually takes a few rounds to do.
Exactly.
So for these teams here, it looks like we have Doug Run again, Solka again.
Oh, look at that.
And who is this last character here?
Korvash. Oh, and Korvash is in his next level. Okay, this is fascinating.
So that's another team. Now, that team just lost our last run. But all those same characters were in last time still. And then here we've got the lovely
Colel.
I don't saw a lot of Colel last time either.
No, we have Nevermore, which Nevermore pops up.
I love Nevermore so much.
I like to call Nevermore the isolationist.
The isolationist. Why is that?
So Nevermore, from what I've been studying on the deck, Nevermore does really well when he separates people from others, right?
Okay.
Let me see if I can find this card that I really loved when I read it. Basically, enemies adjacent to Nevermore cannot be targeted by an opponent's reactions. So the more once Nevermore evolves and he's able to kind of be on a side of a board, distance from everything, that character is pretty much doomed. Right, there's not a lot that they can do to protect themselves from some of Nevermore's more horrible abilities. For example, we have another one, Grim Harvest. This attack does 2+ if the target has no allies within 2 hexes, right? So Nevermore really just tries to kind of bring you in farther and farther away into the darkness until he can completely overwhelm you, which is why I call him the isolationist.
Well, Nevermore is one of my favorite support characters because of stuff like that, and just leaving them on the outskirts to kind of maneuver around the board and then come in through the board, especially like with soup abilities and stuff, and just basically gum up what the other person's doing while I take advantage of things on the other parts of the board with my other 2 characters. So yeah, they're a go-to character for me because of that, because of those features, and they are kind of like a loner, I guess. I didn't think of it that way though, but yes.
So it is now 2-1 right now.
Oh, they're going to get in that 1.
Well, there's 2 trophies right now for the controlling like that blue area. So that's why everyone's piled
up. They're working
up.
so hard for that. They're like,
there's only 3 spaces for it. So that's a really tough one.
You got to push somebody out.
Yeah, if you just fill that area up, you're kind of you're in there.
Oh gosh.
So right now for me, if I knew that a particular area like this zone completely on the other side of the field was being this heavily contested, I would probably start moving and preparing for the next control zone or just the next objective that's at the end there. For example, that DrGloryHogg is trying to take advantage of that, but he's also in range of being attacked very soon. Or Colel has amazing maneuverability. She's able to jump right next to DrGloryHogg and probably take him out.
He's got those sick jumps and those lizard licks.
Yep. Yes, they do. And they have a little bit of poison on one card. So if I were this player, I would probably start moving to yellow in some capacity because so can we see the objectives right now? Is there yellow controlled area? Has that been already deployed? What's going on there?
So the yellow one is already passed out.
Okay.
So we've got 2 blues right now, and then we've got a red that's not in the scoring zone yet.
I don't
the other
know,
one
though.
is trap hexes and then deployment areas.
I don't know if they're gonna get through to that red one though in time, because I mean, what we have maybe 4 minutes left in the round.
Oh
wow!
Depending on when they started and how strict they are by that hour, I'm not sure.
I'm assuming Mythic Games is on it, that they're super strict. They're like, as soon as
like Sam Healy comes over to your house and unplugs your internet.
That's right. Boom, and you're done.
Router
Game
shut
over,
down.
man. Game over.
Pencils down, everybody.
That's exactly what it is.
Just stroking the beard like,
Excellent.
You've gone over the time, my
he's
friend.
got like a Nerf Viking, axe or something that he just strikes your computer with. You're like, oh my god. That's why he went to Mythic, because of the Viking games. He's like, I'm all in on this. Have you seen the new characters that are going to come out like in a couple months?
I did. Yes, I did
I was
actually.
looking at them. They are pretty interesting. You've got that cleric, and then you've got was it like King Alistar or something like that? That looks. I mean, he's got a king in the name. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, one has like an Aztec motif similar to Colel, right?
Yeah.
I think it's also a bird.
Now I want to see him.
Yeah, which is interesting because usually birds are horrible. Like they're the worst animal. And I think there needs to be more pigs just in general or hogs, whichever. But I mean, if you have to have a bird, I guess a bird cleric is pretty sweet.
Wow, just stomping all over the Quackalope right now.
Well, historically, a hog would step over a Quackalope. Just
overall. Well, I'll let you know. That geese
are impenetrable.
Geese are incredibly violent and aggressive creatures. So I don't know. Just don't get on our bad side is all I'm going to say.
Have you ever seen the movie Snatch? I mean, a pig can eat a whole human, just bones and all. Just saying.
Have you ever been persecuted by a goose?
No, there's not enough of those in Arizona, surprisingly. I think it's like a thing about water. We just don't have any natural water. So we have like one natural lake and that's it.
A farm that had a goose that was really mean. He was like, everybody knew him. So like everybody would park like on one side of the farm and the goose would like come wandering up and you see everybody like migrate to the other side and like move around him. Like that goose has some power. Has the power of the beak. Okay.
Even though this sounds incredibly far-fetched, apparently there are professions of people that just remove geese because they are that problematic in certain areas. So imagine
the
that.
Canadian geese especially, right? Isn't it like in more up north, like the northern states where they're like Canadian geese, they just got to move them sometimes because they get all up in people's business and it is a problem.
We're very territorial. What can I say?
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I mean, Jan's got that long neck. If he was all up in your grill, you would be like, I need a professional to get this guy out of here.
And so A Fatale Papercut just said that game over, man. I used to think the geese were fighting, so I chased them away. Turns out they were making baby geese.
Oh,
people get that confused often, Fatal. They get it confused.
So if the species is declining, we know why. Because they're trying to have a romantic date night, and then Fatal's out there going,
"Get out of here, goose! Get out of here, you crazy goose!"
The only goose story I have actually is there was like one goose that used to be in the park by my house. There's a little retention pond. And you could fish and get like little like bluegill, right? Like I'm talking about fish this big, a couple inches. And I remember like catching them with corn, then taking the fish off, and then I would throw the fish and the goose would just midair catch them like a dog does. And so I would do that. I would feed that goose.
So I need this reenacted with you and Jan. Okay.
Okay.
So you're
you want to try it right now?
First, I'm fishing and I'm like, I'll bring it in, and then I would get it and I'd be like,
I got it. I think I did. I think I got it.
That's it. That's exactly what it looked like.
Woo!
So for years, Hogg has been supporting geese.
Bravo.
So you're welcome for that.
That was a fatty bluegill, honestly.
That could have
pretty
been.
filling.
I could have been feeding your mom.
Virtual cookies for everybody.
Who knows?
All right, so I think this game is at time. It does look like who's winning on this one.
Oh, it's 3-1. There's definitely a winner if they call time.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
So it's our Soka Doug Run team over here. That looks like they are in the lead.
They got like those few trophies real fast here in those last like 4 minutes.
Well, yeah, it looks like they knocked somebody out, and then they just got one trophy. All that.
That's all it
helps.
took, though. It's all it took.
Yeah,
but they were in a
you
really
do something to
dangerous
get the
position.
trophy, you do get a trophy. That is correct.
They were in a dangerous position. Like we just went. Oh, look at that! They just got 4.
Oh.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're still going.
Overrun.
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so they haven't called time yet. They might have started late because this being the first round, it took a little bit to get everyone registered. Everyone's got to get it. You can imagine that it's much easier to do this in person, to just say, all right, do we have our 16
Everybody
players?
gets your
Everybody gets your tables.
Yeah.
Here's your pairings. I've been to lots of big card tournaments like that, and it's always it's fairly easy to do, even with thousands of players. But when you're doing it online, oh, my internet cut out for half a second, or oh, I didn't see this chat, and there's a lot of little things. Oh, my cat laid on my laptop. I've got to fix it. There's a lot of little things. And then it is just inherently slower to move these little pieces around when you can't just by hand grab stuff. It takes a little bit more. Like even for us, I have to really look and see what they're doing. It's not the same as just being in the same room with them and going, I can look and see what cards you're playing because it's in your hand and you laid it down. If you're not careful,
you may miss something.
Yeah, you miss
what
cards they're laying down sometimes, and like you said, who's what. It'd be very easy in real life to tell, oh, that's this character, this is his characters.
Well, it's awesome that
you got to move them around.
Mythic Games has been able to take this tournament and put it online for everybody because the opposite edge of the sword is the fact that now everybody can see this tournament. It's not just, okay, we're at a convention and then you don't know exactly what's happening and there might not be as much coverage.
Point, but I also don't.
Oh, thank you.
How insightful.
I'm like, games for everyone. DrGloryHogg's like, games for no one.
Games for me specifically. I want it easier for just me.
Well, I mean, that ups the level, because now everybody can see.
You're up in the level right now.
Well, anybody can participate. Sometimes in a tournament, if you need to get to a city and stuff like that to participate in the tournament, that might not be an option for you. This introduces a whole different feature to it.
How many French players are in this tournament and how many predominantly English-speaking players are in this? Because there's a lot of French and a lot of English being in the Discord right now.
That's very true. Mm-hmm.
And so Mythic has a big following, obviously, in France.
Yes.
It's a country, Jan.
It is.
I had no idea.
Yeah, no, they just got it. They just got their country.
Brand new. Brand spanking new,
a website or something? France. I've never
heard of new. I think they just got it.
It could be on the map.
First year. Yeah. They're gonna be doing some really powerful things. I'm looking forward to seeing what France has going on.
So the player with Corvash, I don't see how the Nevermore player is going to be able to take this back, unfortunately. Good positioning.
You'd have to trigger multiple challenges at once.
Well,
that'd be the only way to do it.
There's one thing that may flip the board a little bit. It might be too late already, but if you go over to the Corvash's player's board, he has 2 characters that are very close. And that
very
are
close to being dead.
Yeah, well, not super close, but pretty almost there. Solka is definitely there. Corvash is almost there, right? So if they were able to do some heavy damage, for example, our isolation is coming in and taking that Solka out. Unfortunately, that Solka is currently 2 spaces away from Corvash, so he wouldn't be able to capitalize on that +2. However, if he would be able to move her a little bit and then do that, he could maybe take her out in a single swing. Corvash.
I didn't even think of that, though. Yeah.
Look at that. Corvash is just out, I think. Yep. There we go. Mm-hmm. I love it when I say a strategy.
And then it happens and you're like, ha.
I love that.
You're just over there, Kat, and you're like, I'm so smart.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
This is Noob Dodge's, they should win this based off of what I'm seeing now. So.
No, 100%. I think it's going to be really tough for the I'm just using the character names right now. So for the Colel player or the Nevermore player to take this out right now, honestly, I don't see any way, unfortunately.
That is interesting, though, having two characters that are really low on health, being able to take both of those characters out quickly would give you the board to go ahead and manage. So if you could take over the board like that very quickly.
He did it!
See?
He did it!
Oh
my God! I love it when a plan comes together.
At least they're not going to go out like 5-1 or something.
So
That's true.
But wait. Let's review the objectives right now because this has changed everything.
It does
Or
because
may
now
have.
we have the board. You can sneak in there and get quite a few of those objectives done very quickly. Ooh, the other player is just like, heck.
2 or more champions and traps.
Okay.
Deployment areas. Control destruction. Yellow's coming up.
So what's the damage output right now on the Nevermore player side?
If I'm playing as a noob dude, I would just be dropping out these characters and just trying to burn somebody down just to get your last little trophy.
Get the last trophy on there.
I don't know if they'll be able to because if you got to move, you can't usually attack very well. Not as much.
Correct. Like he did really good. Like the Nevermore player really saved his skin. I really thought that was going to be it for them.
I thought so too.
There's a trap there.
So they're doing two things.
Advantage of the traps.
Yes, he's trying to take advantage of the traps and the red control area. But at the same time, as he's doing that, he is putting himself in a lot of danger. Because we don't know what those traps might be, so he might get his Solka down again to a really low health threshold, and potentially sacrifice her once more. It could go either way.
This game went from very one-sided to being very, very tight.
I know, I love it. I love it. That's the type of drama you want in these type of tournaments.
Just like one good round is all it takes just to turn that tide, just to tip that balance.
And a round is when both players go one time.
Why did GloryHogg making like the really important keynotes here?
So for everybody tuning in, this is the type of feedback. This is the type of analysis that we're giving you. We're hoping that you're enjoying this very much so. Later in the stream, we're just going to go and read the rule book step by step as well.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're just going to go through all of them.
Analysis is an in-depth dive into what is currently occurring.
Oh, well, thank you. Why, thank you, Doctor. You're very knowledgeable today.
Nevermore is a player that you can actually play in this game, Super Fantasy Brawl, and it was just moved by a character with a card.
So, you know what, Jan? We didn't go ahead and go over... No, we're losing Jan.
Are you okay, Jan? Jan, before you go, Jan. Thank you.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Hi. Hello.
Thank you for your service, Jan. Thank you.
Before you go, thank you for your service.
Remembered.
Thank you, Jan.
No, we are not talking about that story live. I'm sorry. People are just going to have to always question why you just said that. Just know, everyone, that affects me emotionally. Yes.
Jan, thank you for your service.
I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm out of the stream, everyone. I'm out.
There we go.
All right, so
I like it.
Chase Smith asked, so is time up? Is this a tie? We believe that this group here probably started a little later. So
it's 4-4 now. They seem to still be going.
Yes. I am really hoping that Nevermore takes it. I really am. I just love a good underdog story.
Underdog, right?
Yes.
Root for it and they come back.
I feel like you would definitely, if you were a dog, you would be under.
Aww.
Okay, Hog.
And I would be a wonder dog.
I am going to revoke your status of getting horns. Okay, so just letting you know, I do have that authority. So
no horns for you.
That's your area of purview is the shirts. You're like, Jesse lets me make all shirt decisions.
Hey, it's a huge part of the business. It's a huge part of the business. What are you saying?
Huge part of the business. Actually, as a Quackalope fan, I know for a fact that you don't make money off the shirts. That's what Jesse told me.
It's all about getting the word out, dude. It's all about getting the word out, okay? That's the most important thing.
All right. What sort of damage do we have on the characters here? I'm curious to see who's...
None. And
those ones are all fresh.
None. So yeah,
my God.
Fresh.
Oh, this could go this could go anywhere right now.
It could go either way, really. And we're exactly 4-4 trophies on here. Wow. Oh my gosh.
This is amazing. Okay, so where is that part about being in the enemy deployment areas, being on both deployment areas actually? Is that the 2 trophy? Is that the 1 trophy?
It's in the 2.
Ooh, okay. So this is really interesting. Oh, we lost Viandux. Okay, well, either way, we have a good opportunity now. So the Nevermore player is in a really good spot to try and take that 1 trophy because they have Nevermore right there next to the deployment zone, kind of trying to isolate, trying to get.
There we go.
Oh, what's going on?
They
Final results. They called it. It was a draw.
Like
it was a draw.
Oh!
4-4.
Time's
Time's
really
up.
tough in this game.
Time is up. Oh, okay.
I gotta say, I'm impressed.
I'm so sad though. Like I wanted to see the end.
That was close.
Oh wow, I'm so impressed with the Nevermore player. That was fantastic. He took it right there at the end, saved his skin. Oh, that was beautiful.
They were just going down to time on that. They were like trying to pump out as many turns as possible, and you could tell they were throwing down stuff. And the change happened fast. That was crazy. Oh my gosh! In that last round, that was so. One player got 3 trophies, and the other player still got like one more, I think, in that last.
Yep. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Last little bit, in that last like 4 or 5 minutes. Oh my gosh!
I think for this tournament they're not doing tiebreakers because they are doing Swiss. So when you tie, it's essentially like if they're doing it like anything like a Magic the Gathering tournament, it's essentially like a half a point.
Yeah.
So it pushes you. It's not considered a win, but it is like a half a point, and it means you can't get paired up against somebody who just won their last match.
Yeah.
So, and then they'll do it based off of pairings off of that. And there's some math involved, but yeah, you don't want to be a player who won that's playing against somebody who didn't win, who tied, because it's worse for you as far as if it does go to tiebreakers, it's worse for you in the long run. But if you're that person that did get that tie and then you win, you do kind of rocket up ahead, and it can basically make you like a wild card.
Absolutely. Like
Fantastic.
Swiss rounds, I think, are a pretty fair way to do it. And when you're on a time constraint, Swiss rounds are just better to go with because you can end the round and then deal out your points per player in a fair way, and then they can move on to the next round. So because they're going to be playing at maximum 3 rounds on that.
Mm-hmm.
So if they win the 2 rounds, then they're gold. If it's 1-1, then you have to end up playing that 3rd round. So not everybody will play a 3rd round.
The way the goal on the trap areas works is you have to be in 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you're asking, Dan.
And another thing that I wanted to bring attention to, apparently our current favorite matchup in today's tourney is the DrGloryHogg and Solka combo. We've out of the ones that we've seen so far, right? And there's only been a single deviation on that, right? Before it was Goldar as the 3rd, and now this time it was Corvash. And it's been doing great so far. And I'm kind of curious what synergy is building off of those 2 characters, right? I believe that both of them have great abilities to move others. And I think that ability to just like completely take somebody out of a particular location has been proven really good.
Somebody while also being stuck in place. I mean, that really just changes who's in charge of what.
Absolutely.
So that is a really cool synergy.
Aspect.
Absolutely. So I think at this moment, we're going to have another game here come up because they're starting new rounds, but we are going to have a word from our sponsor really quick here, okay? So do you like flinging spells? Does the smell of parchment make you squee? Well, then Enchanters may be the game for you, as this behemoth of a box contains Overlord decks, Odyssey decks, and East Quest decks, along with everything else to get you started on your monster stomping journey. This is Enchanters, and you can pick this up at mythicgames.net. Ta-da!
I've heard great stuff about Enchanters. I've unfortunately have not been able to play it yet, but I really have wanted to.
I was looking at my list of like Kickstarter games that we got in and played this year, and I have to say both Reichbusters and Super Fantasy Brawl are definitely up there for me.
They're up there in plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is another one that, I mean, we may have to add to our own collection.
Yeah, Mythic has been putting out some really good games. I've really enjoyed the ones I've played.
I mean, we love Mythic for some reason. Mythic is awesome. Mythic.
That's a good link there.
So, well, I remember that Enchanters was actually a separate design, and Mythic acquired that and then did some changes and put out that new Kickstarter, right? So I really want to see what exactly changed from one version to the other and what new mechanics were brought in, especially Mythic, being considered for such high quality products all the time. So very fascinated about that.
So
And
we'll
it
have
seems
a-
like Battlecry also enjoys enchanters. Squee like an enchanter.
Ooh, I didn't realize Battlecry had enchanters. You know what? Like Battlecry is very. So we have a Kickstarter show, and Battlecry is very, very selective on their games. So I'm surprised that they have enchanters. So I'm like, ooh, it must be really, really good. Now I'm gonna have to definitely try it out. Like, oh my goodness. All right, Jan. So it's going to take a few minutes here for the next rounds to go in. What are your favorite characters to play with in Super Fantasy Brawl?
Oh, fascinating question. I tend to like characters that do really weird things, right? So for example, I love characters that are able to.
Your character is weird.
Yeah,
so the weirder the better.
it's either the character artwork that enchants me initially, or it's just a special ability. So for example, I love Akhet particularly. His ability to just get anywhere on the board and also revive, which is obviously because he's a Phoenix, is fantastic. And Akhet has this particular ability called Swoop, right? And Swoop is basically he's doing that action, right? And depending on what type of swoop you are implementing at that particular point, you're able to even transport characters. You're like carrying them on your talons and taking them completely to a separate area of the board, which I think is really, really powerful.
I love the swoop ability. Yeah, that's one of my favorite abilities to use in combat because it's very maneuverable.
I think another character that I tend to be very fond of and have also a little bit of bad feelings about because Jessie completely destroyed me using her was Lorelei. She's one of the most, I feel she's not a glass cannon, but the type of support that she is really, really strong. First of all, she's going to give you more access to your deck, right? Once you evolve her, once you're able to get a kill with her, you're going to be able to draw more cards all the time, and you're going to have more options to plan with, etc. And again, she's just going to be able to kind of get anywhere on that board and get anybody on that board where she wants them to be a little bit. She also Nature's Wrath, which is one of her strongest card. This attack ignores the defense of the target. That's amazing, and that's how she probably gets to evolve. You know, you pepper down the opponent with somebody else, and you take Lorelei, and you just take it for yourself, and now you just have so many more possibilities with every single round in that hand of yours, and that can change the entire game. And then I guess my final probable, like one of my other characters, I guess I like maneuverability. I like being everywhere because I just picked up Wrath. So Wrath is one of these other characters, and this guy, he's all about digging tunnels. He can get from one side to the other without absolutely any issue or being stopped at all. He's able to kind of get right next. He can jump. He can dig through, for example, the stalk beneath. Deal 2 damage to an adjacent enemy. And if it was dealt, place Wrath adjacent to an ally. So you could have Wrath on the other side, literally. You do a single bit of damage and he just teleports back to one of your allies, probably even giving you control over a particular area or zone on the board, which could, again, transform the entire setup and gambit of that particular session. I'm just mentioning 3 as like a potential squad. I have no idea if these people synergize at all.
You're like, those are just the ones I like choosing.
Exactly. What about
I picked my original team just off of like these ones look cool or they look like they belong together, and it worked. So either I'm really good or she's just bad. I don't know.
Aww. It looks like our next round and pairings will be starting in about 3 minutes. So we have just about 3 minutes. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll be starting that back up in just a few minutes. Yeah, it sounds like, Jan, that you play a lot like I do, where you do have those 2 supporting characters, and you like that board maneuverability and stuff. And I do like the swoop ability a lot, except I use swoop with Nevermore a lot. So my go-to characters are going to be Sulka, and then we have, Maroots, and then Nevermore, because Sulka I keep on the outskirts and kind of trying to like swoop in there, not swoop in, but slither in there and get things taken out. And then Nevermore, I do use that swoop ability and abilities they have to draw the characters to me, especially if I need another person over in an area to take over an area and stuff. I'll use that in there, or using that swoop through several characters and then making them stunned, I believe it is, and getting those extra cards out of their hand and stuff. That can be detrimental. If you have somebody that moves up their characters in a way that you can swoop through several of them, that is a huge, huge ability. And then all of a sudden they have a very light hand and you're like, haha, suckers.
Yeah, that could cripple any plan. And I feel that particular combination is really interesting because you have these two characters that are trying to distract a little bit. They're hitting here, hitting there, and then teleporting there, and then moving over there, and you're trying to catch them. However, Maru's, he's probably getting hit and he's getting attacked because he's your main tank, but he's also able to kind of stand on his own with that bloodied ability, right? With that power.
That's exactly it. So he just becomes like the focus for most people. And then I'm able to maneuver things outside the board with the other two characters. And then, like I said, poor Maru's dies like so many times during my games because it's just all focus fire on that one poor character.
Yeah, it's true. I have to say, I always like my favorite character, which hasn't been utilized a lot in this game, has always been Taze. I like the dash and the ability to react and dash so that when somebody targets you, instead, you get to not only react and get like a little bit of armor, right? So you're still going to probably take the damage, but then you can dash into the objective zone, and all of a sudden now you're like set where you want to be for your next turn. I always like that aspect for it. Or you can, like, sometimes by them attacking, you go, oh, cool, you were about to score this objective. Zoop, now I'm in there too.
It looks like games and... Sorry,
go ahead.
Oh, it looks like Games and Tech Corner is also a big fan of DrGloryHogg here, saying DrGloryHogg and Sulka certainly do have good enemy manipulation. And Sulka has a great reaction card, +2 defense bonus being yellow. And then DrGloryHogg boosts allies and can do card draw, too.
So it seems like DrGloryHogg is definitely a big...
He's a favorite.
One of the characters. Yeah, which I'll have to try him more. I've only gotten to play that character once, and I played them with Darren, and I liked that she sat in the traps and that he kind of held the spot.
Yeah.
So I think maybe like a good combo, even since I like Taze, would be probably like Taze, DrGloryHogg to hold stuff and potentially like kind of make it so they can't move me out. Taze can zip into places and make it so other people can dash. And then I like Lorelei because of the heal and the plan. And I feel like she gets you into your deck more to make sure you have those reactions when you really, really need them.
I like Dan's comment here. I wonder if the game meta for Super Fantasy Brawl will be more about choosing champions to counter champions than picking certain teams. And
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think there's been enough time for that meta to fully form yet. But this tournament and who ends up winning it and who you're seeing the majority of the tournament is going to lead directly to those combinations and then looking for counter combinations after that. So yeah this is huge.
No, and like this is a core. So there's been a lot of conversations in the board game geek forums about how the game is evolving and what areas we're gonna want to focus on. And the competitive draft is going to be one of the most important things moving forward with this particular game. It is all about knowing who to pick and when to pick them, and the way that competitive draft works.
Too.
Every player is going to bring in, I believe, 5 characters. And at the beginning of the draft, you're able to remove the other player's character out of being chosen.
Rope. You smack them with the nope rope and they can't use that character. So basically you got to look and say, who's the character that I want to see on the field the least amount? And so as you're looking over at, GloryHoundd, me, Jan, and Jesse, you're just like, Jesse?
Jesse's
no, bro.
No rope on Jesse today.
He's been notes.
Oh, so and after you bro, that is when it gets really interesting, because the first player is going to be the one that drafts their champion, but the second player gets the advantage of choosing against who you just picked.
Right.
So that advantage starts kind of changing faces. And there's been discussions around, the first player has an unfair advantage because the cards that come out, they're able to take control of the particular scoring achievement conditions. But at the same time, in the more competitive aspects, being able to choose counters against every single one of the first player's choices is huge in the late game, and it could potentially even outweigh the benefits of just being able to see the cards or being able to take advantage of the cards.
That'll be really interesting to see that form, because I think that a lot of games that have a lot of tournament to them or tournament style play, we already have metas set in place. They already have all that stuff already fleshed out. So coming in on the bottom floor of this and learning everything from the beginning and seeing all the strengths and everything of the characters grow and what meta comes out of it from this is always really interesting. That's what a cool time to be looking at the Super Fantasy Brawl stuff and seeing this all come to life, and then seeing the new characters that they're going to be introducing, which, I mean, I have not gotten a chance to take a look at the new characters. I'm excited though by you two describing them. I'm like, I need new characters already.
By the way, I think we've just spotted for the third time in this tournament another Sulka Dugran combo.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Which apparently that's where you want to be, and they're playing
Today's hotness.
with a cat with a bird, which we have not seen the bird played at all yet. Now, it might have been played on a table we weren't watching, but of all the tables we saw last week and this week, we haven't seen the bird played once.
And that's one of my favorites. He has so many options, and again, the opportunity, just like Revive, is crazy good. Oh, so we got Colel, Kilgore, and Sushao for the other opponent here. And that's Viandox is going to be Colel, Kilgore, and Sushao. And Viandox was the character that we just saw, the player that got the tie. Okay.
That's right.
And so now they're going to be facing Reinbold, that's going to have Dugrung, Aket, and Sulka. Interesting combination. So what do you feel they're going for right now? Like we have Sushao that's going to be our damage dealer. We got Kilgore that's taking advantage of life stealing, healing, pushing, being able to jump, being able to get in a lot of places. He's going to be a very aggressive tank. And then finally Colel that just is able to kind of almost appear anywhere on that board. And
those are all high movement characters.
Exactly.
They can jump, they can move. So I think they're focusing on being able to get around the board and do more damage.
Yeah, I was going to say all aggressive,
is all about, looks like staying in place and then hitting people with Sulka.
Right.
And then potentially using Aket, the Light of Creation, which I don't actually know how well that character plays. I haven't seen that in action yet.
I'm looking at the back portion of Aket's card.
Yeah, because they've got access to swoop, push, heal. They've got some more swoop.
And the power on the back of Aket's card here is that activation. So you may discard any number of the red cards in your hand, and your attack is going to gain a +1 for each card that was discarded on that. That could be like a powerhouse move there if they can get leveled up during this game. Like, oh my gosh.
So remember when I was talking about planning and how important planning can be?
Yeah.
With Aket, so we talked about that Sulka does have some abilities that help you draw a little bit here and there. Having the opportunity to accumulate a bunch of red cards, and that's why I really like Aket, because he can be kind of like that support character is kind of like jumping in. He has a good defense and good health, but he can also be not necessarily a glass cannon, but he can be a cannon just by himself if you literally play your cards right and you just try and accumulate. You're like slowly building him up. I think that's really exciting.
The goals for this one are pretty interesting. So you've got one that says they want you to have a champion next to each individual statue, and the one that wants all of your champions on one statue.
Oh, okay.
They're complete opposites. So it'll be interesting to see which everybody decides to do.
Well, you could also run into the fact that everybody goes for the spread out ones, and then maybe somebody takes that particular card, and then you just clump together on the red one then after that, though, too, which could be very troublesome. Because you're spreading out your characters and then trying to consolidate them very, very fast.
Yeah, and then when you spread out and then you consolidate them, that is moving your characters both first out and then in.
It's like the Big Bang of Super Fantasy Brawl, okay? That's how it happens.
And the Big Bang is a show. It's on CBS, I believe. And stars a Sheldon Cooper as a scientist. Theoretical. He doesn't actually do anything. He just thinks about things.
A theoretical. I have to say, I think the idea
of theoretical physicists and all that is very interesting, because we have somebody in the family that's married somebody who's does theoretical science, and I'm like, gets paid to just think. I think all the time for free, so I'm a sucker. I am a sucker.
You should be getting paid for all that thinking you're doing. Wow.
He just sits around and thinks of stuff. And he's like, this could be a thing that is real, and I'm like, I come up with stuff like that all the time. I come up with stuff
that could be real all the time. I just made a drawing the other day.
I don't even know what I'm doing with my life.
Somebody has a good question here. Okay, so Dan has a good question here. What do you feel about deployment and its importance?
I feel there's almost no importance to it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you're just putting them out. I don't separate my characters by a lot. The only time it's important is if I feel like if you're going for the spread out one, it might make sense to be in the far left one and then the far right one to make that a little bit easier. But it's only important if that goal is there. If you have any other goal, you're pretty much just going to go next to each other and just go at it.
Interesting.
That's my perspective.
I don't feel like that. I feel like deployment is really important.
Over here analyzing, you're like, ooh, do I go in the second left or the first left?
No, like I always put my focal like Maroots in the middle, and then I put my 2 support characters on the sides because they're more maneuverable, and I want to be maintaining either side from each direction. So then like I can get a big scope of the board as I'm going in there, and maybe even distract the other player from what I'm doing. Because
I think it depends on how maneuverable your character are too. Since I usually lean towards very maneuverable, the difference of being one space over doesn't matter. They start crisscrossing each other. It doesn't even matter. They just go all over the place.
But that's
like the big bang.
Like, team composition is huge for that. So depending on how you build your team, it either matters or does not matter.
That's fair. Fatal also says, have you thought about being a scientist though? Boom.
I have actually.
Theoretically, I thought about it.
All I had to do was give myself the title doctor to become a doctor. So I feel like being a scientist wouldn't be that hard. Harder to spell, maybe.
So Dan, as Jan said about it, the advantage of drafting for 2 players, such as an important point. Also, they have the advantage with deployment too.
Yeah, they're saying that Jan has a point that second player does have some advantage in where they deploy and what they're picking. So there's definitely some advantage there. Jan did make one good point. I agree with that.
The one good one.
Thank you. That's all I've been hoping for. Just one good point. That's all I needed.
It's
good
more
job,
than what
Jan.
Jesse gave us. He gave us nothing. I really feel like I came away from that with less knowledge about the game than before I started.
Jesse, so here's the difference between Jesse and me. I'm more analytical. He's just sort of funny, but he's not funny all the time. I'm analytical all the time. So just, just weigh out. You weigh it out. What's more important?
So sometimes I feel like the analytical player, although, so like I've always had this problem with playing against her in some of these fighting type games. I'll analyze and make these combos and stuff, and then she's just like, punch, 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 kick, 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 punch, 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 kick, kick, kick. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go in, punch high, come low, do a shoulder throw. She's like, punch, punch, kick, kick, punch, punch, kick, kick, punch, punch, kick, kick. And I just die.
That's because you're just really upset that I beat you at Street Fighter all the time, okay? That's what that is.
It's true, though. But like, so even in Mortal Kombat, I'm doing all the different power moves and stuff, and she's just literally punching me in the face until I die. And I'm like, cool.
But the strategy...
I'm trying to throw fireballs and stuff, and she's just like, punch, 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 kick, 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 punch, punch, kick.
The strategy has been analyzed, and it works very well, so...
I'm just mashing up a little button here. Mash, 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 mash. I'm gonna win. Mash, 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 mash.
That's a strategy. It's a strategy.
It's not a strat. It's not a strat. I'm trying to like counter and block and like do throws, and she's just mashing buttons.
Let's see
it's
here.
Horrible.
Although there are some objectives for the first player to secure and be extremely hard to displace for 2 trophies at the start of the round 2. Hence the talk about mulliganing the challenge cards.
There's been a lot of discussions around advantages at the beginning for first player and second player. That's why I brought it up. I've been reading up on that and seeing what the audience is feeling in regards
if there was a real problem with that, though, you could always do a best of 2 out of 3, and then you just switch. You know, like whoever lost gets the choice of going first or second.
Right.
That's how other games handle it, right? Like when you're playing other card games, they typically are like, if you lost, and you have the choice if you want to go first or second next round.
Yeah.
So just play more Super Fantasy Brawl is what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly. And so, Glory, are you controlling the camera here?
She is not.
That is definitely Doctor. So.
Oh, the Doctor. Doctor, can you show me?
So you can yell at the Doctor about all that.
Hey, Hog! Can you show me what objective is being scored first?
No.
Excellent. Thank you so very much.
Yes, thank you so much help today.
Okay, so this is kind of interesting. I wonder if Corbash can
get one.
Yep. So I wonder if Corbash can actually get. Oh, so fascinating. Oh, okay. I see this now. I had assumed that everybody made it to their statues, and I was worried that I think it's Viandox just gave them the first point, but it seems like DrGloryHogg was just shy of making it to that center one.
He's not very fast. Like he doesn't have a whole bunch of movement.
But
which is the downside to him.
Well, and you have to get the exact right cards. Like having the exact right cards for that, where everybody has a movement card in your hand that has just enough spaces, would be super fantastic, but very, very hard to do because
you do make a very good point that in order to move, you have to have a movement card.
Well, because on the both sides, you know, the blue side is set up towards one player and the yellow side is set up towards the other player. So you have to move further on one side than the other.
Yes,
so
each player does have a side.
Oh my God, Doctor, you are gonna after this stream, it's on like Donkey Kong. Okay?
Donkey Kong being a game about a gorilla that was trapped.
We're gonna be
his
playing
will.
some Street Fighter, and
I'm incentivizing him by laughing. I have to stop laughing at these jokes, or not. He's just gonna keep doing it. I'm so sorry.
Insightful, Jan.
Our audience, I'm so sorry. I just find it comical. Oh Lord. So I think I just noticed Rame is going for each statue. Yep, I agree. And I think that I just saw my first plan action so far. I think Kilgore did, and I could be wrong about this. He did a move and a plan. Is that right?
I believe so. And I will try to get onto the cards. It's a little difficult because every character kind of plays their cards wherever they want.
Yep.
I have 2 or more champions adjacent to the yellow statue, Ragel's statue.
A lot of adjacency cards here. Interesting.
So Games and Tech Corner, we will do the absolute best that we can as hosts of this and not the actual players. We are just spectating on this. So if something gets played out of our camera angle and we don't see it right away as we're hosting and everything, we might miss that. But absolutely, we'll try to go ahead and get those up on the screen for you. Games and Tech
I'm
Corner.
busy coming up with very insightful points, so it's very difficult for me to multitask.
Okay, so let's see what's going to happen this round. So yes, I completely agree. Rame is definitely going for that spread strategy. And you know what I thought? I thought that as Vian, I thought he would go for the other. I thought he would just focus on a single area, especially now with that yellow. So what I would do is that I would just give them the point probably.
Right.
And just
because it's 1 point, right now. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a problem.
Oh,
that might have been valid before, not anymore. Because now it's going to be worth 2.
It's moved up. Yeah, it's moved up.
But I still think they're in a good place because they have Kilgore right there, ready to pounce on yellow, and they have Colel also right next to yellow. So they could potentially do that big bang element that you mentioned, where everybody spreads and then just concentrates.
Spreads and then comes back, right? Whereas the other character, I mean, if you see somebody spreading, it's almost more advantageous to go in on just the red area and then take that character out, because you're also denying the other player from getting the sprawl while also taking over that one area. So, I mean...
So it looks like what they've done is they're just moving the bird. They're moving a cat because they used one of Doug Run's card to move it, right? And so they used a basic movement because I don't believe they played a second card, but they did move again. So they probably did one of the basic movement options.
I believe this is the one that they did.
Yeah, they played the yellow card, but then they also flipped and did one of the basic actions over here too. And I'm looking to see if they're going to drop another card down.
So super serious question here, everyone. As you're playing the cards, the text at the top, are you like, onward, whenever you play the card?
Well, of course, you got to get into the role.
Flourish. Yeah, to add flourish as you're playing.
So what voice would we put to DrGlory? It would be onwards, blizzard. What is a good gnome voice? I don't know what a good gnome voice would be.
Could you do a good gnome voice for us?
I could not do a good
She has a good gnome voice, but now she's going to be embarrassed.
Hold ground. Okay, so I actually have a point here to bring up, and it's because of Fury. Hopefully that did not explode everyone's headphones. So Su Xiao is right next to Solka, and I think that's a really bad matchup. Like, that is horrendous. I feel that Su Xiao, if they went on the offensive, could completely wipe out Solka in a heartbeat if they had the right combination of cards. Yup.
Very quickly. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that a lot. That's danger zone. You've entered the danger zone right now. Run away. I believe that Viandoc started this, right? He was first player. That's another advantage with the deployments, right? Because you can see where people are planning to go. I feel that deployments also give a lot of information as to what you're planning on doing, right? Oh, absolutely.
This is that Flash of Jade, which is a super powerful card. The best card, I think, by far.
Look, it's happening again. It's happening again. The strategy, it's happening. Yes. I'm so excited.
And that noise you can hear would be our co-host being excited.
Being really excited.
I'll try and be excited, like over here.
next time.
Like, up in here.
I'm Puerto Rican. I'm very loud. I'm so sorry.
And Puerto Rico is a country that has water around it.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Wow!
Not a lot of people know that. Thank you so much for being informed.
You're welcome.
So Dan,
It's actually the birthplace of salsa.
What?
Yes.
Both
Okay.
the
So
dance
actually, I
and
will
the
do
food.
that one. That is not a lot of people actually know that one. That's good.
Really?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It is the
I
birthplace.
totally guessed.
Really?
You're not supposed to say you totally guessed. You're supposed to say you just ruined it. You ruined
Is
the
it
veil,
bomba?
doctor.
No, it's either bomba or salsa. I'm a horrible Puerto Rican. I'm so sorry. It's either bomba or salsa, but you're pretty close. There is a dance that originated on an island. There you go. See?
That's
They were the first people to dance on an island. Good to know.
there. You go.
Yeah. You can't prove that. You can't prove that's not right. So, you know.
As we get internet comments about all of that.
So I'm going to go with
Yeah.
Dan on this one. He is 100% right. I feel Raim has so much power right now. He's going to be able to take down that Solka at any given time. So I don't think that Solka has enough firepower to bring down Sushao or even stop him. And as I mentioned, the positioning of both Kolel and Kilgore is really, really good. They even just put them next to each other, which gives them another advantage and able to take out that Dugrun because they're ganging up on him. Like Dugrun is good defending, but if everybody starts focusing on him, it's going to be bad news.
Oh, absolutely.
And if Suzhou does flip, they get to give -1 armor to everybody, which means Dugrun is going to have 1 less armor, which does make a difference.
It does. That makes a huge difference. It's little minimal things like that.
Really, it's just that's what I was gonna say, Hogg, that I disagreed with your initial analysis of the deployment areas because I think this just proves how pivotal deployments can be because you can trick your opponent. For example, I'm pretty sure the Viandox had put his Solka over to the edge, especially because of his card drop, because he knew that he would reach there. And so Raim noticed this and said, "Oh, I know who's a perfect counter for this hero. I'm going to go ahead and put Sushao and just take advantage of that low health and see." Ooh, when did they activate that actually?
They just did. And they just hit a trap also.
Oh man, poor Kilgores. They're just taking traps all day.
It's
been commonplace. It's happened every single time. And I think that was a root, right? That was a root trap. I'm not sure which of them was. Oh, this march shows how strong deployment is. Raim showing his strategy within deployment and going for 3 points. Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. Yep. And look at this. He scared away the Solka because he doesn't want to give that advantage of the -1 modifier for the rest of the game. Because Sushao is actually really tough to bring down. Has 9 health points. That he can survive a lot. However, this character does not have a lot of healing abilities that he can share with other characters. So he does have to be very careful how he decides who takes damage when.
I'm so happy there's like such deep strategy happening in these games because I was nervous since this was the first tournament that the strategy will still be a little bit on the surface level, but man,
well, people are
really thinking ahead, and you can tell the strong players already have all this stuff figured out. Like, okay, here's going to be the balancing characters on this here, on what I need to choose. Here's how I need to deploy to get myself in position for the next few rounds. Like, super deep strategy happening on these. I'm impressed.
But here's the thing. That Kilgore had the worst luck possible because he got rooted when he was going to do his charge to get right in the cat's face. And that may guarantee some points for the other player immediately.
It looks like they're playing Healing Tears right now too to try to gain some life back.
Oh, fascinating. How are we looking at life points right now?
So what we're looking at here, Soka's still low, right? He's got 4 taken off, but they just healed. So they healed Soka.
Oh, excellent.
Seiko is no longer in intimate death zone.
Yeah, healed too.
The important thing is that we agree that deployment is very important and we should never listen to the doctor.
We should all just agree the doctor was very wrong and should be deploying in a much better way.
Also, actually, I think they may have done that wrong. The Healing Tears says you may discard a blue core card to heal an adjacent ally. So I'm not sure if they use a separate heal action versus that
On
healing
that one
tier.
there.
Like, oh, it might have
Judge-
been lifesteal.
Oh yeah, that might have been the case because that's directly for Sulka.
Yeah. So let's take a look immediately at Sushao to see if he has 2 damage per chance. Oh no, interesting. Okay, now I'm confused. Fascinating. Okay. So what's happening here? We got Kilgore, we got Colel. The good doctor is a quack.
That's what happens when you go with an internet doctor. I'm like
3v1.
WebMD for sports.
3v1 at the yellow because Rain needed to spread. Absolutely.
Yep, correct.
Dan knows her stuff. Dan, why aren't you in this tournament right now? Like,
yeah, I think he would do really well.
My spot.
I think so.
I will go play Slay the Spire. Much more useful there.
Such a good game, though. My gosh,
Oh,
Slay the Spire's
so
amazing.
That's really good.
So good.
I'm hooked on it right now.
No, yeah, it's fantastic. I've been playing Slay the Spire. I got it on Switch. I got it on PC. I'm a little bit obsessed, just a tiny little bit.
The tiniest.
I picked it up on Switch. I love to play it though, with like being able to do mods and stuff like that, making your own characters.
Yeah,
whatever you can do when you get it on like Steam and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if anybody else wants to play Super Fantasy Brawl, this is on Tabletopia, so you are able to actually go in and play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you pay us enough, we will come and mock your game while you play also.
You got professional commentary on the house.
No, not on the house. You got to buy me a burrito.
Oh, you got to
I
get
don't
at
do
least a
anything-
burrito.
I don't do anything for free. It's at least a Chipotle burrito. That's the buy-in point.
One Chipotle burrito.
So we just got Mouth Thrash played down here. We got a push of first one movement, which is exactly what Kilgore needed, and then a push of 2, which means that Uket might get taken out of there, except if the other character has a reaction card from Dragoon. Yep. That does not allow for any type of displacement. Oh, and he actually used it for Dugrun. Fascinating. Oh, okay.
I a trap with Dugrun too.
Ooh, that's maybe why.
Oh, that's
they wanted to do the
smart.
extra damage on there.
What did he get? He got 1 damage, 2. Okay, not bad for Dugrun. That's already 4. Not bad at all.
I'm so unlucky with those traps too. I go out of my way
every time.
Yeah, I go out of my way to specifically avoid them, and any trap that I hit.
Mine are always just the stopping one.
I know.
I run up and it's like stop, and I'm like, cool, that's where I want to be. Smash.
Yeah, and me though, no, it's like every time you get that 3, I'm like, come on, how many of those are there in there?
So some of the cards being played right now, we've got double jump, which is really a lot of movement.
That is a lot of
movement. You're doing your 2 damage, you jump, and then you can jump again.
Yep.
You just get a move.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted them to do. Go ahead and
we
take
had
that
the
a
like you said.
Yep. So, okay, so we got the jump. Excellent. Oh.
There you go. Ooh, look at that jump.
Oh, wait a minute. Fascinating.
What's he doing?
No, wait a minute. They're going to give them the 2 points.
Why? What?
Oh, okay. I was not expecting. I thought they were going to go back to their original place. Huh. So this might come back to bite them later on because they just gave player 1 2 points that they could have totally avoided giving them. Because he moved the Dugrun where the Dugrun needed to be. Uket did not get displaced at all. And Sulka is still very much next to that statue.
Yeah.
They could have kept Colel in there, and then they would have had control over the yellow.
Exactly.
I don't know why they did not. I mean, they're tied there. Like, so no one's going to score that because those are opposing players right there. Because Kilgore and Uket are not on the same team.
No, yeah, but it says that if you have champions on adjacent to each statue, which that condition is true, he's 100% going to get that too. He's only going to get 1 point. Okay, so that's important. I did not see that. So it seems like he might only get 1 point, but still, a point can make all the difference in the world here.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about this one here.
No, they are still 100% contesting that card. Like they currently, I think it's Raim. Raim has control of yellow, but also his characters, they might not be pushed too much. We'll see. Like for example, Dugrun can come in and push Colel, but because of the way that she's located, I think she can only probably get pushed closer to the statue or next to the statue. So that's good positioning on their part. Aked, on the other hand, could potentially do his take flight card, which is the place the first champion swooped through next to something, next to themselves again. That could potentially help out, and then potentially taking out, moving them where it's more advantageous. So these could potentially be things that are brought into play. We'll see. That is still a fascinating strategy.
At some point, I wish we could have also been able to see like their cards in their hand and stuff, but I guess maybe that would not be fair. But I really would want to, right?
Oh, that would be great.
Because sometimes people are making these decisions, and I'm like, why are you making these decisions? And it
Without
has to
knowing
be
the cards.
It has to be something that they've seen or they've discarded, or something going on like in their mind on why they're doing this.
Or performance enhancing drugs. You never know. It is rife in the tabletop arena world. There is a lot of performance enhancing drugs. A lot of oxygen doping.
Oh my gosh. Oxygen, yeah.
So what card do we have there?
High.
What card do we have there,
have
Hogg? What was played?
Some cards.
Yes. There's it's right there behind Colel. I think it's a card for Kilgore, maybe a red card for Kilgore.
100% don't see it.
Yeah, it's a little bit. So it's right here. It's right next to Kilgore, Colel at the upper of the screen. But either way, it seems like now Kilgore character is moving. Oh, so it's Wingstorm. He got pushed.
Yep. Okay.
Nice. So Aked, see, I had a feeling that Aked would be kind of pivotal in this particular game.
Now
the
playing that
people.
Shield slam with the dash and a push.
Again, just moving them out of there. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so now this area is being controlled by Rami, the purple player.
Yep. And he's in good position as well. I wonder what Kilgore will be able to do. It's going to be tough to push them both out of there.
Right.
And let's see. And also,
you stop that trophy from scoring. So.
Yep.
Well, that's true.
You only need to move one of them for that one. It's not control. It's just you have to have two characters there. And that's going to be moving. It's still going to stay in that 2 zone. So even if the round switches over, it's still going to be worth 2 trophies. So they probably want to do something about that. I would highly recommend they play cards on their turn.
And another thing to keep in mind is that the I think it's Raim with the Solka, Aked, and Dugrun combination. They are kind of low on health right now. Their characters are not doing that great while the other team is intact. So that could change things up a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely have some damage there.
Yeah, I think at this point, Dan is right. We're going to see a big turn here coming up. And plus, we're about halfway through this game. So nobody scored anything just yet. There's going to be some big rounds coming up here soon, I have the feeling.
If not, then nothing is going to happen instead.
And then it's going to be a draw, and everybody's going to get a little sad face, okay? Because nobody wants a draw.
It is impressive to get draws in this game, I have to say. That takes a certain amount of skill, too.
Right? Where you're just on that threshold. Like...
With the way the trophies score, it's not like if every challenge was just worth 1, that would completely change this game. But since they rotate in, knowing how to manipulate it and get that 2 at just the right time, makes it very hard for you to always get the same score. It seems like most of our games end up 5-4, but they don't stay at 4-4 for very long at all.
Right. No, absolutely.
It's usually like 3 and then up to 5 or some other combination like that. Some numbers that would equal 5.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting points by DrGloryHogg.
1s, 2s, or more. Yeah.
Interesting comments. DrGloryHogg.
Okay.
I am here because I live here. That's how I got on this show.
Level skills by DrGloryHogg.
Some people had to earn their way onto this. I live here, and she can't stop me from sitting here next to her. She's tried. I know how to open the door.
Oh, the childproof locks just don't work anymore, Jan.
I'm like, are you doing a stream? I want to sit here.
Childproof locks don't work anymore on them.
That's you don't teach them. You don't teach them how to open doors. That's what you do.
We actually put in the levers, right, one time, and we thought that was really slick until our cat figured out how to open every door in our house.
And then,
that didn't last.
Yeah.
The door opening at 3 a.m.
And then you're like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
What's out there?
Sleep. Nope.
Staring at you menacingly from that crack.
Because the door goes.
That's exactly it too.
And then it makes a slam sound as it swings open.
It's not like they want to come in. It's just that they want to stare at you menacingly from outside the door. And just let you know they have the power.
Yeah, 100%. I always feel like they're plotting something.
I could kill you right now, but I'm choosing not to.
Fatal likes your quick math you got going on there. Yeah, quick math.
Yeah. I used to actually work in a payroll department, Fatal. That's how I learned how to add like that.
I don't know if that's a joke or not.
That's real.
Okay.
That was my job before my current job.
Oh, Sacrilegious style.
Oh my goodness.
So let's see. So that Solka is now retreating completely back to base.
Why is that? Is she
Solka
super low in health, or
Solka is scared?
Solka is giving up.
Scared.
Solka's not hurt. I mean, just one damage.
She only has the one.
Shusao is pretty intimidating, I have to admit.
Well,
what
that's
kind
fair,
of goals
but
do we have here?
why so far back? Yeah, now I'm curious. Why so far back on here?
And was something scored? Why is there a trophy missing?
Deployment area. Do you think they're going for the enemy deployment area?
Interesting. Why would they go? Card. So Solka does have maneuverability, right? We've talked about her capacity to kind of use her, what is it? That spirit slither to move 3 spaces. But beyond that, I don't know if she has enough movement to kind of make it all the way to the other side. Well, all her cards do have 2 movement. So maybe there's a way.
We have trophies up in the corner there, up in the left-hand corner. Is that it? Instead of on the board.
Oh my God. So,
okay,
they have 3 trophies already. Interesting.
Yeah,
no wonder. I was like, where are people scoring these? What's going on?
Like, I think there's 3 up in this corner over here.
Yeah, Viandox.
Yeah.
Viandox.
I was like, somebody has to have trophies because their cards are missing. I'm like, where are these trophies at?
Wow, so Viandox has already been able to score 3 points. Wow, that's good.
Fast.
But again, they've taken a lot of damage in the process as well.
Well, if you're talking, are these the 3 trophies you're talking about?
We believe so.
Yeah. I think so, right?
That's Solka, Dagrun, and Egghead?
Yeah.
Which I believe is Viandox, right?
That's Ranny.
Oh, that's Rain?
The purple player.
That's Ranny?
Oh,
yeah, that's why I have the board orientated this way. So the left-hand side is the purple and the right-hand side is the yellow.
Oh, look at Doctor being so smart.
See?
There we go. Around and getting confused because,
Thank you so much. That is actually going to help a lot. So, so we're going back to Dan's original point, which was Raim started off really solid, right?
Yes.
But now,
because of the deployment, which is actually very important.
But now they're not in such an advantageous position. Now they're going to be able to be taken completely off the board depending on what cards are played here. Which I'm really curious to see who they decide to focus on. Dan, the points have been scored by Raim. And what points specifically? I believe they scored 1 objective of 1, and they may have scored, let's see. Yeah, I think they scored the 3 trophies, the 3 people next to each statue for 2 as well.
They had to have, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got some missing card spots there, so.
Wow, really good. Good on them. That is really good.
Yeah, no kidding, right? That happened like so fast. It happened when I wasn't looking, I feel like, and it just changed.
Yeah, I don't know where. So now we'll keep track in case like it's either going to be on the board itself or it's going to be right next to those player boards. That's going to be very helpful to keep in mind.
That is one of the things that since we're watching, we're spectating. We don't actually, I mean, we're obviously seeing the exact same screen you are. I have the same small screen. I can't really see the whole thing and still have enough detail to know 100% what's going on.
Right.
We try to give you
but
the
if
best
you're at home,
play-by-plays.
you can always go ahead and head on over to Tabletopia and watch this on your own and also listen to us at the same time. Yeah, and then scroll into whatever you need to see as well, because that'll be helpful for you if you're wanting the specifics of each card and every single card that they're playing. You may be able to catch it a little bit faster than us here hosting.
That was interesting, though, because that's the first time we've seen them people putting their trophies off to the side like that. Everyone's been doing it on the board. I'm so used to that.
I feel like you need it on the board, though, because you need that to be up there and be like, boom, making it rain trophy.
I like to do it so that, I can mock her from my side. Like, I look over at her from the top of the trophies like, it's getting hard to see you over the top of all these trophies.
Look at all this success. Oh, Lord.
Oh, you're doing fine, Dan.
Filled with so much success over here.
Yeah, seeing it from your phone would definitely be difficult.
That would be tough. Definitely, Dan. I'm probably like the worst person to play a tournament with because of all the ridiculous shenanigans. Like,
yeah, she is horrible in general. And in tournaments,
I can just see the love here. It's so powerful right now.
Happy anniversary, my love. All right.
That's how you know it's true love, when you can tease each other like that. That's how you know.
Oh my goodness.
What's happening
what's
right
happening?
now? What is going on? Okay, so this is Viandox. So he's let's see. So Su Xiao.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to be playing Focus. Your champion gains +1 until the end of the turn. Okay, interesting.
Are you watching this on a big screen? You're like catching these cards faster than I am, and I'm like the one over here zooming.
I have them in my hand.
That makes sense.
Okay, so they actually decided to activate their yellow core, and I think they once again use Fury here. Okay, so he's going to be healing. So as a post, he's going to be able to heal here. He's going to be able to heal 1. Where's he going with that? Okay, interesting decision. So he's putting all his cards on the board for the other player to see. I think they might be doing that as well so that we can see what they're planning. Because they already have everything. Yeah, they already know what they're going to do. So they're just putting all their cards out and kind of choosing what activates and what doesn't. I think that might be their reasoning here.
There is something to be said about that, because unless the other player has a reaction, there's not much they can do about what you're playing anyways.
Exactly.
You're just like, are you saying you're just rubbing that in their face? They're like, look at all of these that I could just hurt you with.
It doesn't have to be aggressive, but what you're doing is you're just showing them, especially if there's a situation where they've made you do a discard and you've had to already show them your hand to prove that you don't have that character card to discard.
Yeah, that's fair. That may be the case.
Which that could have very been what happened.
Sometimes you need an aggressive splay, though. You know, you just splay them across the table. These I will be using.
Can you deal with this? Can you deal with this? The power of my cards.
Well, that's why when I play her, I usually roll up my sleeves just to make it a little bit tougher for her. I'm just,
there we go. Yep, exactly. That's what we just came to that games and tech corner. Would have been stun, and then no card to discard. Probably they probably had to show their hand. Just
I card that very quick, but our other hosts are very slow.
Hey, I'm doing the best I can. Come on.
It's not like you couldn't prepare it. You didn't have your hair to do before the show or anything, so I don't really know your excuse.
It seems like Viandox has a little bit of trouble with his internet. This is the second time that's happened so far. So interesting. So let's take an opportunity to go through the cards that he does have available. We saw there that we had double strike, a dash of 2, and double. Ooh, that could be... Game is finished. They might come... Oh, is time up?
Time up? It's right around that time. It matters when they started, you know?
So Rain would take this one then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's brutal.
Oh, wow.
Right in the middle of it all.
Viandox didn't have a chance to get anything at all.
Oh, that's so brutal.
Wow.
I hate time's up, like, so much. Like, it's such a constraint, but like, I understand it needs to happen, but that's the worst thing ever, especially if you have a really good hand of cards or you're just working up that momentum and you're like, I just needed one more turn.
and Dan had said so. Dan had said, I feel that Vian is making a comeback and can potentially make 2 to 3 trophies like immediately. And apparently, and if we're right, there wasn't any time to make that happen. So that's
absolutely. So via Swiss rounds here and everything, everybody who won 2 matches will then just go on to the finals and everything, which will be held next week on Saturday as well. So if you're interested in that, make sure to like and subscribe to all of the channels and ring the bell so you get notified whenever they go live. We will be going live right around the same time, so you'll be able to catch that. And then those who ended up getting draws or are in it for this final round here, we will go ahead and be going back to those people to see their final match. And that's actually like much more stressful, because if you're in like a 1v1 situation, or like you won 1 point and then you're like trying to get that last point in, like that's going to be tough. Absolutely, Mythic. So 17 minutes left. So on that particular one, maybe it ended early on that. I'm not for sure on that.
Interesting.
But we'll go find another game for you all out there.
Yep, I am on the hunt.
On the hunt.
I am hungry like the wolf, as is said in my country.
For all the games.
No, but I had a lot of fun thus far. I think my favorite matchup has been that one where Viandox was completely contested right in the middle of that. That was absolutely phenomenal. And again, just shows that you can never really be 100% guaranteed on what's going to happen next.
Absolutely. And I think that the really fun take on this is seeing the characters play out. And maybe there's a character that you didn't play as much, or that you didn't get the synergy of the character as much, or understand how to use them in a way that was going to be really beneficial, and maybe seeing that play out in this. And then you're able to go back to your house and go, okay, well, I'm going to play with these characters now and try this out and see how well they work together.
Dug run, honestly.
Yeah.
And nobody's using Tay, so apparently my favorite character, La sucks. Maybe it does. I don't know.
There's been a few we haven't seen. We haven't seen Darren. I'm surprised we haven't seen Bwaaaane yet at all.
Yeah, I know.
We haven't seen Raph.
Games.
Yeah, we saw Bwaaaane a lot last week a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the teams have really consolidated down to the same couple in different configurations now, this time.
Yeah.
Than last time.
Well, that's how metas happen, right? You start seeing prevalent buildups and very small deviations. Like even in games like Hearthstone, I remember that used to be the call all the time. And it looks like, are we back? No, is this a separate game?
Yes,
this is
a separate game for sure. And it looks like we've only got 1 trophy scored so far in this game.
Oh, really?
But look at this damage.
Ooh, that's...
Nevermore is not looking good, and neither is what we got here.
Wow.
So
interesting
we've got
combo.
Run, Nevermore, and Kilgore.
That is a really interesting combo.
Dugrun. Oh, and Nevermore. Interesting. Hey, we finally, I saw Dragoon and Asolka again. I was like, okay, here we go. It happened once more. And Sushao.
Oh, we got some damage.
Oh, it is Dugrun and Asolka again. Oh my God.
And Suzhou. There you go.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is definitely the meta, everyone.
Yeah, I'm going to have to specifically play with these.
Wasn't that great because we didn't see him at all until at first we didn't see him at all, but then we did see him a lot of the matches at the very end of last week. And now we're seeing him every single game. It seems like it's him, Dugrun, and Solka are in every single.
That's the next combination I'm going to play. I'm right after we're done with this. That's the combination I want to play.
That seems fair.
I need to get on there, and I'll play that combination. You can play the losing combination. Okay, so you play with the really weak characters that we're not seeing, and make sure that it. I
have to say,
I am not
a
synergized
sucker for the characters that nobody likes and try to make them work. That's always been my thing. So the characters are oh, this guy is not good unless I'm a big fan of trying to make them good.
See, I think that's good for you because you're really lucky. So you somehow get these really lucky card draws and really lucky trap things.
It's the heart of the cards.
It's basically you running through the tournament going wee and just playing stuff but it works for you and it works really well and I'm impressed.
I like crushing your super meta team behind my weak team.
That's exactly
you like
it.
getting trampled under Taze's hooves? You like that? You like getting trampled?
That's exactly it.
He's not even good and you lost.
And then it makes me rethink everything about life. I'm just gosh, am I even good at games?
News at 11. She's not. No, she's good. So we definitely specialize in different games though. There's some games that I do much better at than she does and vice versa.
Yeah, I'm so far the weakest link in Quackalope when playing this game. I have not won almost at all. Jesse has, I think, every game I've seen of Jesse, he just wins every time. So, we got Dan here saying, "Remember deployment, doctor, so the hound doesn't make you howl."
There you go. You gotta work in that deployment now. See, Dan, now he's gonna get 10 times stronger because of luck and deployment now, and it's just gonna be. He's gonna wreck me.
Oh, but hey, Dan has his money on you. So here we go.
Yeah, Dan knows what's up.
I think it's 1-5 right now with me having the 5 wins, but that's cool.
Well, it's at least it's better than 5-0.
That's true.
You know,
she won the last time we played. It was pretty bad. She complained the whole time, and then she pulled out 3 trophies in one turn, and I was like, that didn't work out.
Here's the really interesting thing.
I was tired though.
Oh.
I was sleeping when we were playing. It was after 8. I'm an old man.
I've played plenty of tournaments with X-Wing, Attack Wing, Blood Bowl stuff and everything. And I do really well at heavy strategy tournaments and stuff because I am really good at like area control and maneuverability and stuff like that. But with Super Fantasy Brawl, for some reason, it just throws like this weird wrench in like the way that I play things. That is very, very challenging for me.
Whenever a game has a lot of like synergy based off cards alone, I tend to do really well. And I think it's just because I played stupid amounts of Magic the Gathering, which you can tell by my physique. lots of Magic the Gathering.
Can you tell that I played too?
For every match I lost.
I played Magic. Can you tell? Yeah, you can tell the magic. That magic. Lack of muscle.
Jesse doesn't because he's all ripped and he's out there. His hair just blowing in the wind. Where's he at? Georgia right now, getting peaches or something? Who knows with that guy? Does he have a house? Or does he just live
he
in his
doesn't.
car?
Not anymore.
He's just always driving around.
Kat, why would you bring this up?
No. What? Oh gosh, I don't even know how that comment got up there. Oh darn. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Battle Cry, no, do not ask me. Okay, I do not want to talk about that.
Battle Cry is bringing up all the stuff all the time.
They're very well informed, and I'm so worried about that.
They're very well informed. Yes.
They know too much.
So there isn't much more time left in this game. So is it going to be one with just one trophy?
Really? Oh my God, that's
crazy.
Because there's only probably about like 10 minutes left. So I mean, a lot can happen in 10 minutes. But as of right now, it's just 1 trophy to 0. Looks like.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not seeing any hidden trophies. No.
I feel that. Let me see what their name is.
So what could happen in 10 minutes, though?
I feel that Pedde or whatever how you pronounce that. I think they could potentially take another trophy now, at least because their other the Fabrice's characters are really, really weak. Like I would wait for that right now.
You got the blue statue, yellow statue, destruction area, manipulation area. So whoever's holding that blue could just totally score. And we've got 2 characters in there. We've got Nevermore and Doug Run.
Overall, whatever you score, like you could score the blue area and that'd be 2. But either way, even if you score the red or the yellow, that's another 2 trophies. So, I mean, you just need to score something at this point to make sure that, what is it? So they can secure their lead. Pedde?
Yeah, I think it's
Pedde.
Yeah, Pedde.
I don't want to
like that.
Pedde. You know what? Like I just don't want to call him Puddle because I thought it was Puddle at first. I'm like, oh, that may no. Oh.
The other one looks like a Fabrice.
So HD Cowls, I cannot answer that question for you. I have no idea. You'll have to at Mythic Games on Twitter or something, and they may be able to give you a better direct answer on that.
Yeah, there might have been, I don't know the limitation on Tabletopia versus...
I don't know what sort of rendering it took or to get how long it takes to get up there. I have no idea about any of that. I'm just here to watch the games
only
play.
Thing I really wish is that they had a way to put those rings in. Because when you're playing the actual game,
the
rings
rings
make it so easy.
The rings are so nice. Yeah.
I think what they should do is just make double of each character and have the bases different colors.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That would be perfect. Yeah.
Maybe for round 3.
That's what would kill me. I mean, unless you're playing completely different characters, then it doesn't matter. But when there's a chance for doubles, especially, and then for us watching this, it would just be really easy to tell. Oh, looks like the purple team. These are the purple team's characters, and looks like they're controlling this blue area. Now I have to keep looking at my list and go, okay, well they both have Doug Run, so which Doug Run is that?
Exactly.
We got about 8 minutes left in this round.
That's fascinating because there's hasn't been a single trophy discarded yet.
Like I'm really waiting for something to happen. Like and the other, who's the other player? What's their name?
Fabrice
is down so low with so many characters, so this could swing one way very quickly, like very fast.
This HD Cows, this is the official Mythic channel, but we are broadcasting on their behalf.
Absolutely,
we're not the ones that would have been rendering this stuff. We're part of Quackalope and the GloryHoundd Presents channels.
And we're hosting the game for them because you know what? Mythic Games is doing a fantastic job of putting this tournament together for everybody.
They probably didn't have the manpower to also run this side of it.
Absolutely. Managing all the different tournaments that are going on right now and all the different tables that they have to manage in order to make this possible. So they're doing a fantastic job.
Unlike Battle Cry, Mythic actually likes my commentary.
So
yeah, there is a lot of damage in this game, much more than the last couple games we've seen. Because I mean, look at that. That's still 6 damage. There's 4 damage there.
Okay? Bruyne is almost out too. Like he's right there, which is impressive to do in general.
So one of the things that that I've seen also in the discussions is that depending on what type of player you are, there could be a little bit of analysis paralysis. And I feel that this game in particular, if we're reaching that time mark, it probably means that someone was really trying to get the perfect strategy and just wasn't fast enough, which could be detrimental because of that time limit. So you do have to act fast. So we got a challenge here. And that was played, and yeah, that's played by Pedde. So we might see what I was saying of taking down a particular character. Let's see.
Yes, and if you have any complaints about the show, please send them to your local congressperson.
Yeah.
We're in Puerto Rico, apparently. So either or. They'd love to hear from you. Puerto Rico does not get a lot of mail because they're an island. That's the true fact. Not a lot of paper makes it over there.
We have a lot of carrier pigeons, so that helps a lot.
Well, that works out. I keep on just like waiting for somebody to get taken out. I feel like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I want the players to be able to play down the card somewhere where it's a little bit more visible for us. That could potentially help out a lot as well. So we're getting a little bit. You just gotta
get in there and you gotta whip them into shape and be like, put your cards in the middle.
Right here.
And Fatal Papercut's been writing his local congressman, so that's great.
Oh, that's good, Fatal. Good job.
He's been complaining about our show for months.
For a while.
I never doubted you, Fatal.
It hasn't stopped though, so.
So let's see. Okay, so we're moving Solka into that blue area, trying to contest that, which is probably the last. That's going to be the last challenge, right? For one that trophy.
They're trying to go for, yeah.
I feel like Fabrice and Pedde are trying to do like a really weak high five with their little hands here. But
they're getting close, but never.
Yeah, they're not succeeding. Like I need to feel like I need to help. Like bam, there you go.
Okay, so we now know where that Duogran belongs to. That's from Pedde.
So Fabrice is like. Is Fabrice just trying to work on the draw here? Like try to get stuff in there just to get a draw going because they're so low in health? And then like is Pedde actually, I mean, I'm assuming Pedde's trying to go for the win because he sees them creeping up in there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so definitely they're trying to protect that red zone from scoring, at least. At least I believe that's Duogran was doing initially. They might have now changed strategies a little bit. Okay, and so we got Duogran.
Which is really moving. That character's moved like 3 times.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So he just activated a shield slam there. Each adjacent enemy suffers 1 push.
Oh, pushed him right out.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. And so that was for Fabrice. So he would be able to push. He would be able to push Kilgore a little bit, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to push Solka out of there though.
I don't think Solka has any damage though either on her, right? Solka is pretty healthy, right?
Yeah, no, the player that's really suffering right now is Fabrice.
It's Fabrice, yeah.
Yeah, so basically what I think is happening, he's trying to get Kilgore out of the way to see if he can then later maybe take down that Nevermore that's kind of protected a tad.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know. So how much time we have left on this one? Because I really don't see they're taking a lot of time to process and go through it. So I don't know if Fabrice is going to have that opportunity.
Time-wise, we don't have the exact time that they started, but we do have. I was sent the numbers here at about 10:20. So 11:20. It should be really close to
we're like 3
that.
minutes away or so.
Yeah, it should be really close to that end time on the game.
But all it takes is getting like a trophy or 2 at this point. To really
and that's it. Like, that's all you need on this one.
There is that strategy to, if you know you're going to get a trophy on your turn and there's nothing they can do to drag it out a little bit so they don't have enough chance to play another turn.
Dirty. Those are dirty plays, Doctor.
Using
someone scored
of time. There we go.
Yeah, that's it for Pedde.
There we go.
There's no way. That's it. That's the game.
Fabrice just got 3.
Yeah.
I do not see this going anywhere else.
Oh,
they just weren't. They weren't able to push enough. They just weren't able to get what they needed. They tried to do their best with Duogran, try and get that Kilgore out of the way, but it just wasn't enough.
It wasn't in their cards today.
And I mean, if you're looking at it too, Pedde all of his characters are super weak too. So it's not. I mean, Fabrice potentially, if they get another turn, could just try to kill the other characters for the last 2 trophies and just win.
And just
5-0.
do a full out win, just to make sure, just to ensure victory.
which means he gets to keep all of his Pokemon if he does that. So
Oh, really?
very
Okay.
important to knock out all their characters.
You got to collect all the badges.
Yes. D50, you get the water badge, I believe. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so whose turn is it right now? Are we seeing Fabrice or are we seeing Pedde?
It looks like it's definitely somebody is taking a turn. I agree.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the type of insightful commentary I always depend on.
So insightful.
Looks like he's making that character dance. And now that character. Okay, that character's going off the board.
Oh.
So there's the other trophy we were talking about. So Fabrice is still getting in his last licks. So they just took out, was that Nevermore?
Yeah, that was
Nevermore is alive no more. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's Nevermore. I mean,
was he ever alive?
Oh.
That's the question.
Was he or was not?
So let's see. So who's weak right now that they could potentially maybe take that 5th trophy, if at all?
So the weakest character over here would be the DrGloryHogg with 4. If they take 2 more damage, but you got to make it 2 unblockable
I was going to say, you
damage.
still got to get past that shield, which is tough.
And I believe this is their DrGloryHogg over here, which is far enough away that I don't know who can really get them.
Yeah.
Unless the Solka's not there.
But they may just be happy with the 4. And I mean, because that's still going to be a win. And time should be ending here like really, really soon.
At this point, Pedde is probably hoping that we cut and go to a different match.
Oh, okay. Pedde is probably just wanting to save face and be like, oh, God, I wish they would stop talking about me quickly.
Oh, could you imagine if you're listening to this simultaneously as you're playing? I would be just sweating bullets.
I think the worst I had is I was playing in like a 72-person tournament, and when it got down to the last match, it was me versus another player, right? So I did really well, and there was at least 25, 30 people watching. That one was rough.
All surrounding you, like
Yes,
that's the thing that I don't miss is the surrounding.
The only other time that was worse than that was I was playing Magic and I was playing against Brian Kebler and I was paired up against him, right? So he's a professional Magic player, and so he had an entourage. So he had like 6 or 7 people on his side just watching me, entourage style, while I'm playing. And I have to admit, I got a little flustered and I ended up killing myself by doing something that caused myself 1 damage, and I had 1 health left, and I was just like, oh yeah, I'm dead. I'm like, but you didn't kill me. So boom, there you go.
I killed myself, so it's good. You didn't take that last thing from me.
So I was like, in a way, we tied, and he laughed, and then I went to the loser's box.
So what you're saying is that now DrGloryHogg just needs to hop on a trap and then just totally seal the deal and be like, yeah, but you didn't get that last trophy. I gave it to you. So you're welcome.
I took everything
from you. You're welcome.
That's a really good point. If you kill your own character, do you get the trophy?
Yeah.
And that's it. That's game, which we did say was going to run out of time.
Yeah, there was no way,
unfortunately.
Unfortunately. I feel Pedde made a few bad decisions there from what we were able to kind of bring in. It was a steamroll. There was just, oh my Lord, that kind of hurt a little bit just watching that. I was cringing a lot.
It can happen though, because if you make one wrong choice and then all of a sudden it can just be like a piling on, kind of like how we talk about you when you're not around. We start with the face, and then the next thing you know, just all the insults are just coming and coming and coming. Well, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Here's the thing: we came in not even mid-match. We came in the end of the match, so the last 17 minutes of that match or so, and they only had 1 trophy. So they made up what 3 different trophies in those 17 minutes like that.
Every time you do that, it's like Steve Jobs.
In that final portion, so I feel like there was a big struggle for 45 minutes. A 45-minute struggle of going back and forth and inching out 1 trophy that we missed. And then we saw the final of the rolling and probably didn't do justice to like the awesome fight that happened, honestly.
Like I said, there was definitely a delay in terms of analysis paralysis on that one. I just found it so strange. Like in all of the games that we've seen at the minimum 3 cards discarded before the end. We only saw 2 cards discarded this time because they were scored, not because they actually transitioned into that final portion. So whatever happened, that I think that was a huge element here. That analysis paralysis just took too much time away from either player to kind of play their game, unfortunately.
Which is a whole other thing, is making sure that you play in a timely manner to get that out. Or like Doctor, apparently, you just waste your turns away to make sure you get the win.
You gotta do it very casually. You can't be obvious about it.
A minute here, a minute like
there.
Oh, these cards. I'm having such a tough time.
Just looking through the cards like, oh, darn, I dropped my cards. Give me a
God.
second. Picking
Hold
them back
on.
up. Like, ooh, I saw Butterfingers. I'm so sorry. Just repeating that over and
is there
over.
a fire next door? I better go save the kittens. And
I'll be
wait the
right
last
back.
5
I just
minutes.
have one more move to do. I'll be right back. It's super, I swear.
That is true. A victory is still a victory.
So
You win at 1 life, you still win at 1 life.
Yeah.
So what did we think? What did we think about the matchups here? We had Kilgore, Nevermore, and DrGloryHogg. And we already know that DrGloryHogg, Solka, and Sushao are, you know, bombastic together. But what about Kilgore and Nevermore and DrGloryHogg? I don't think I've seen that one before. And
No,
based on what we just saw, it was not very successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you notice though, it's like that Solka DrGloryHogg plus one other one has won all 3 of the matches that we really looked at for sure.
Yep.
This other one here tied, but they're always like seem to be in the winning bracket there. So there seems to be a really good synergy between DrGloryHogg and Solka, which is interesting because I don't think
in another character.
that's a combination you would have ever put together because
It
Solka's
isn't.
creepy and DrGloryHogg's a dwarf, and I don't think you would have gone.
I would not
dwarf
have gone
and
the creepy dwarf. Yeah, I would not have done the creepy dwarf action. Okay.
That's true.
Do you imagine?
All
Can you
creep or
imagine
no
the
creep?
Could you imagine the locker talk with these, like them in the back, like before they go into the arena, like what type of things they're conversing about? Because they're all from different time periods.
Yeah. So he'd be sitting there. He's like, "Oh, would you like a pint of ale, lassie?" She'd
That's
like,
a great gnome voice.
Yeah, she's like,
Leave me alone.
she'd be playing Snake Jazz.
Yes, snake jazz.
And Nevermore's just like sulking in a corner, like, I will take my revenge.
Right?
Nevermore.
Nevermore.
I will
The
seek out
raven keeps on
vengeance.
tapping. This madness keeps on lapping. Nevermore. Like some Willy Wonka action going on there when he's going through that tunnel.
I can just
Where
imagine
we
like the
stop.
camera zooming in into Nevermore, and it sounds really menacing and loud, but then you zoom out back to DrGloryHogg and Solka, and you just hear like, I'm Nevermore. It's just laughing in that corner really, really awkwardly.
Well, what people don't know about Nevermore is that under the cloak, it's actually just 2 dwarves on top of each other.
No, I thought it was 3 mice.
No, it's 2 dwarves.
So like you get down to it and it's actually just a tiny voice. It's like, yes.
So
yes,
the
we'll
third
get
and
you.
final match of this weekend will be coming up in about 4 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right.
So 4 minutes, we'll have the last sets going on.
Final round. I feel like you need a really intense final round voice.
Well, yeah, I
For
can't
things.
do it.
Yeah, you need the intense
Jan, you're a
final.
man. Let's hear your final round voice. Listen, I already know
I'll
my
have to
strong suit
correct
is
you.
not
I
a
actually
deep
go by
voice.
Goose. Okay,
Oh, good.
I identify
Good.
by Goose. Okay, so thank you very much for that.
Sorry. Yikes.
So I'm still trying to decipher what exactly was the combination between Nevermore, Kilgore, and DrGloryHogg. I cannot see the synergy yet. I'm trying to get into that mindset of the player, figure out what they were thinking and what
They
potentially
might not
just
have been
failed.
thinking, and that can sometimes happen. Occasionally, I go into a game not thinking, and then it does go poorly.
But for
That
the
seems
most
like most
part,
of my
it does
games.
go well.
Yes. Yes, according to Jesse, that is also your strategy.
Yes, I'm so fantastic at that. I'm always
Ooh.
guaranteed to probably lose at this game at this point. I'm trying to study. That's why I'm going so deep into these cards to try and figure out like, okay, I can't do this next time. I really got to focus on not making that mistake.
But you guys do a lot of reviews, so you guys probably won't ever play this game again. I mean, you're just realistically. That's the struggle, right? You play it like 5 or 6 times, then you do the review, and then you're like, cool, I can never play this again because I have 900 more games on my stack.
There
It
we
is a really
go.
fun game. I enjoy this one a lot, and it's saying, Michael, we actually brought this over to our podcast, and we were all really positive on it, both on Shelf or Sell and also the other one that we call the Played at Once segment. So far, Super Fantasy Brawl is definitely saying in my collection. It's one that I look forward to bringing out. Probably not with
It's a
Jesse.
huge box, but I'm keeping it. For
It
sure.
is a gigantic
is.
box.
Because
It
once
is.
you know what you're playing, it takes 30 to 45 minutes.
Right,
Realistically. I mean,
right.
I play quickly, but it takes 30 to 45 minutes, really, even with her slowing it down.
Yeah, I think with experience, you could potentially even do less than 30, but you have to be very quick playing on that.
You have to have 2 quick players, which
Mhm.
I just don't think is realistic in this household.
There's so many jabs coming over here. By the way, you're slow.
It's kind of like one of those things like they say in Game of Thrones, right? It is known. It is known. People know.
Is Jussie the Maverick to your Goose, Jan?
I think
wow.
if anyone was to get into a plane crash, I would really hope. No, I am kidding.
No,
That's just going to go down a town.
no.
That's going down a bad path there.
So
I
is
do
Jussie the
appreciate
Maverick
the
to your
Top Gun.
Goose, though?
Yeah,
right?
Probably. It's a great Top Gun reference, though. I bet Sam is going like, haha, good one. I like it. Top Gun is like one of Sam Healy's favorite movies. He was in our podcast, and he brought in Top Gun the game, and he basically said, I'm only bringing this in because I love this movie. I don't even care about the game, really.
That's
like
hilarious.
I'm excited to try, but I don't really care. I just want it on my shelf.
That's how it was about Jaws, which it was okay, but I mean, I got it basically just because I liked the movie. I'm like, all right, I'm going to play this just because of the movie.
Who do we have up here? We have the Thug.
No, it's Thag.
Oh,
Thag.
And Smitherman.
Smitherman.
Okay.
Smitherman. It's French.
And we're right at the beginning.
And we have everything oriented on the correct side. So
yes,
Smitherman is going to be on the right.
Correct.
Cool.
It seems like purple has been on the left side every time. Oh, there we go. We got characters coming out. Yep. So Smitherman is bringing out some characters here that they want to pick. This is the 5.
Yes, this is
the
super
5
beginning
that they are
part
looking at here is Marus, Corvash, Wayne, Zhao, and Solka. Boy, they could not have made these names any harder to say. And over here we have Solka. Again, we got a Kilgore, we got Corvash, we got Zhao, and Goldar. So no Doug run. Is there no Doug run on either
At
side?
last!
Did they not realize?
At last, and not a lot of support, actually, which is interesting.
Are we just going to
have a smash and bash here?
So
maybe.
This is something that I've been very excited at checking out. We're finally seeing the competitive draft happening in real time.
Character. No Corvash.
Yeah, nice. Interesting.
They said, nope, a dope on
so
those.
Corvash is...
Ooh, what is he going for?
Banned. Is Corvash banned just straight?
Yeah, they can't pick that character.
Oh, they both took out Corvash. So this is fascinating. So they just took out one of the best synergies with the Sushao and the Corvash together, right? Because of that bloodied. And so Goldar has been selected
for his first pick. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Woo! So I wonder who's going to pick to counter that.
This is like my favorite part so far is this.
Is seeing the selection happen?
Yes, I've been so excited to check this out because this is like half of the strategy right here. So who do you think they would probably pick here? I personally would probably go for Gwaine. Because she could snipe at Goldar and not even be in range of his goals.
That's
Gwaine is so good.
Is that if you use Gwaine, then you don't even care if Goldar trying to pull people because you're far enough away just to blast them.
Right?
Yeah. And another one that I could potentially see as a good counter is maybe how do you pronounce that? Maruz?
Maruz.
Yeah,
Maruz. If you bring him in and you hurt him at the right time, you're bringing in at a bomb right next to you, right? Like you're bringing in trouble.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I love doing that. I love bringing him in and just having him right in the middle of everything and then just explode with lots of attack power.
And you also don't get to know what the objectives are before the match. There's also that's a big difference. Because if you know what they were before, you can kind of pick your team around that. Like, I want to use this right away to try to get in there and get stuck like a tick burrow in. You're not going to be able to do that.
And that's fascinating because you have different levels of strategy. You have the competitive draft where you're trying to decipher the other player immediately. And then you have the secondary portion of that strategy, which is, okay, now that I know I have my characters, I know my counters, where do I deploy them so that I can take advantage of this? So there's two very important decisions that happen even before the first turn is made.
One important decision plus another important decision does equal two important decisions.
You know what? Math does actually work. And I don't know if you knew that, Jan, but we're here to help you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I had never seen math employed in such an amazing way. So I'm very happy about this thing. I really appreciate it. I've learned so much today.
What can I say? I'm a teacher at heart.
You're going to turn to Jussie and be like, we're never having them on our staff.
Oh, man. Okay, so Smitherman, interesting. So I think they're really debating who they're going to bring. I wish they could hear so that they could
right?
In context of these excellent suggestions so far. And I'm curious, if the people that are listening, do you agree with us? And if not, who would you pick in this particular moment? I'd love to
do Zhao or Maruz because then if they do pull you in, you just tear them up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there he goes. Looks like he picked Zhao.
Nice.
Which is another good option. And Zhao is hard, like you said, hard to kill. Plus has that armor break potentially, which on this other team, Yeah, your Goldar has 1 armor.
Yeah.
And he went Zhao also to counter the other
he didn't
Zhao.
even
Soka
think
has
about it.
no
He knew
armor.
exactly. He knew exactly what to do. Oh,
He's like,
I
you
like
want a
that.
Zhao? I'll Zhao.
We're
Oh,
all
yeah.
Zhao today.
I like that confidence. That's nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
No, we went Soka
And we
over
got.
here.
I like the. I
Okay,
like this
there we go.
pace. So I wonder if they're using Solka as a counter to Sushao. Now I'm curious here. Because I feel like
Zhao
again
and
we've
Soka have
seen.
been in a lot of matchups we've seen.
Okay,
Looks like
look
we're
at
pulling out
that.
The other Soka.
Oh, I was like, I can't. What? Okay, so
There
we
we
got.
go.
So Thag has Goldar, Sushao, and Solka as his final team, and let's jump over to Smitherman and see what they've
Tell me how to
chosen.
run my mouse.
Oh, really?
Interesting. Okay, well,
Really?
Solka's
I
going to
would
be
not
his
have guessed
range.
that, though.
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't-
love Gwaine.
What's that, though? Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I
Gwaine does
almost
such
would
great
have
damage
with
from
beefy
afar.
characters. I would have almost gone with 2 like kind of range, just DPS.
Yep.
Probably just wipe them out.
For
Especially
real,
if you
yeah.
get Gwaine can take out a Solka like in a
Super
turn.
fast. Super
If
fast.
you get 2 attack cards with Gwaine, you can just kill a Solka outright. I feel like.
Immediately. Oh,
Okay,
this is
so it looks like they're
interesting.
deploying the traps here in these trap deployment zones. I like that. That's a
You
good
like that?
move.
That is a good move. It
This
is.
deployment of those
Right in the
traps
direct zone.
in
that
those
it
zones
should,
was
yeah.
a very crucial move.
It was.
So I'm now preparing the actual landscape of my own here to try and determine the
So you can
different
actually
player
look?
characters. Yep.
Ooh.
So that I can see immediately what's going to happen. So there is definitely a lot of overlap
Thank you for
here.
that tip. We will also do that.
There's a lot of overlap, and I'm curious who made the better decision, Goldar or Maruz. That
The
is
character who didn't pick Taze, that is who made the best decision.
so both of them basically they both
They're
lost.
all just much better.
It
That
is.
goes on
I am
both sides.
curious.
So does Solka.
I wonder if people are actually using. So right now we haven't seen Darren at all. We haven't seen Gwaine used at all. We haven't seen Lorelei or Raph and Taze. Are people using these characters? Like people in the comments, if you are, let us know. Like if any of your favorite team ups involve those characters and why you
I
like.
want to know
use
that
them.
too. I want to know that too because
I had
I'm
great
surprised.
success with Taze and Lorelei together.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I have not seen more of them.
And Gwaine seems like an all-star just in any team.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely, yeah.
The power that Gwaine brings is incredible. That's
Such a
the matchup
strong
right there.
character.
'Cause they both have
Ridiculous.
Zhao
Apologies.
and Solka, and then one has Marus and one has
Right.
Goldar.
I'm just trying to get them out of
No,
my mouse
don't
area.
touch 'em.
I'm just getting these out of my mouse area.
So are they using the victory points here to denote that they are purple?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, these victory points tell us that they are the purple ones here, which
Got it.
is super helpful.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I'm actually, you know what? I'm just going to give them a thank you. No, I won't type in there. I won't distract them. They're busy. They're trying to move their game along. But yes, thank you, Thag and Smitherman.
Thag.
It'll be very easy to know because we know the 2 purples and Goldar are our left-hand side. And I'll keep the board orientated this way at least.
Yep.
Hopefully make it a little bit easier.
For everybody at home to go ahead and immediately see what's going on.
And so our first objectives that we have here are have 2 or more champions in trap hexes. So those traps being deployed was important. Thank you.
Oh, really?
If you have
I would have
to do
never
that.
thought.
Have
I
a
would have never
champion-
thought.
Yeah.
Have a champion in each deployment area, which
That's
is
always tough at
interesting
the
to me.
beginning.
It makes me wonder
Those
if
are such bad ones to have in the beginning.
This is the second time we've seen these ones pop out like that
But
early.
first, yeah, that's
You usually want to
tough.
see a control in the beginning.
You do want to see control. That navigates kind of how the board's going to flow and what's going to happen. At this point, it's like you just throw some people out there. You're like, all right, we're going to
So
go
we
in this
start off
direction.
with some draw right now.
Oh, smart. Okay, so this is what I would do probably. I would start going again, anticipating what the control areas are going to be. I would not even pay attention to these objectives right now.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
just go and take control of something and start preparing for my next round. Right.
Ooh, he went
However,
for it.
they're
He
going
went
for
it.
and they got hurt really bad.
Trap,
Goldar
trap,
got
trap,
3. Oh wow, look at this. They're actually going for 3 traps at the same time. Ooh, interesting.
Well, they're trying to secure that. Like,
Yeah.
so if they get bumped off of one, they're like, all right, suckers.
That's not
I still got some other people on here.
Just because now they're on it and then they've it's the onus is on the other team to get them off of there.
But it's only it's not going to be that many points, and my worry is like depending on what he
trap up an area over here.
Well, do you see that? Because he's saying like there's supposed to be 4 traps out, but if they're sitting on 3 of the trap areas, you can't place that 4th trap out. So I don't know what happens with that. Actually,
I don't know what happens with that either, because usually there is one empty space at some point to put that trap out on. So that's interesting. Oh, that changes the way the game is played too, because if the other player doesn't want to run into the traps, like, ooh, interesting. Okay.
So the rule is if all trap hexes are blocked by champions and or traps, the trap token may be placed anywhere adjacent to a trap hex as long as that hex is not blocked by a champion or statue.
So that was a pretty slick play then.
That's so messed up.
It could be dangerous for them because they are now much weaker than they were. Okay, so again, if we get a lot of control,
this whole area.
Yeah, that was a sweet move, blocking that whole area, especially around the red and yellow area. That was like top tier level move there.
This is another thing. Like we've been following the Andox a lot, and he's a great player. But I want to see more variability in the different types of people that we're focusing on, and we've not seen anything from Thag or Smitherman. So this is a complete new world here.
You're a new world.
Yeah,
thank you so much. It's not the first time I've heard that today, though. So I don't know.
Oh, you didn't get there fast enough.
So when we switch to a new character, should it just be like a whole new world, a brand new server with new characters? Jan is so excited.
Oh, they're going right after Soka there. They're like,
I would have done the same thing. I told you, because the character's super weak, why would you not try and take advantage of that?
Look, they just gave Soka, like, Soka's now at 4 damage.
But I wonder if they're just baiting at this point, too, because they're like, all right, chances are I have control of 2 out of 3 areas. Soka's going to get just tanked and then go back, and then I'll be able to pull them back out. But they're still going to have a good 2 out of 3 areas in the majority of their control, where the other players may be wandering around those traps, having to dodge through things. Like, they're really just
look at that, scored it,
putting their odds up.
Yeah,
they just scored it.
Yeah, for the two trap control.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, and they weren't able to take down that Soka. That is unfortunate. Okay, so we have control. Oh, is that the next card? Oh, Smitherman. I'm so sorry. Yeah, -5, ignoring champions and deal 1. Ooh, that's a real good one.
And where'd they dash to? Right through here.
So now they're going for the deployment area, and they have their Sushao right there. My God, Thag is killing it. Whoa!
Just like,
this might be over real quick.
They've got to kill Goldar in order,
which is not difficult to do. Goldar has already 4 health down.
Yeah.
So,
but still, sometimes you just don't get the right cards. They're making it so they have to get the right cards. And if they're holding on to a reaction right now, then they're just laughing me hearties. They'll be over here yo-ho-hoing all the way to the bank.
Oh, man.
So this is an interesting opportunity for Smitherman to try and get over to that yellow area and establish his control there.
He did force stun.
But I would probably focus on taking these guys out. Correct.
Yep, he pushed. Did he push him out? Yeah, he pushed out.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did that force stun. It's a good move. Good move. I approve.
DrGloryHogg approves. Damn.
The doctor says, I'll allow it.
Oh my goodness. This is like an intense first round here.
These
like,
guys are flying through this.
I love it. I love it. That's the type of action I adore about these type of games. Oh, so now we got double shot. Ooh, darting strikes with double. Here we go.
Or if you don't have shields. Oh, look, there we go.
I called it. I knew it. Well done.
There it goes. There's the trophy, and they're going to upgrade their Soka, right? So an upgraded Soka. What's the upgraded Soka?
Draw and plan at the same time.
After you play a Soka manipulation card, draw 1, plan 1, which is really good. You keep that reaction always coming to you, so you always have a reaction waiting for you if possible. Or if you know for sure you want to get like a specific attack, like a really powerful Zao, like Jade Claw deal going on. Jade Fury, I think it is. Ooh, this is This one will be over soon, I
think
feel like.
so. I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
this one is
They're
going
real good
to-
players. I love it. So we
Yeah.
got a new card out. Let's see what
I
that
was
is.
just thinking that.
This blue card up here?
No, actually, from the
trophies.
achievements. Yep.
Yeah, for the
No,
achievements.
I'm not telling you. Adjacent to
Oh,
each statue.
interesting. Oh, Fatale loves it too. Yes, we do.
I'm sorry, I didn't see the new one. What was the new one?
So we have champion in each deployment area, which we knew about. Creation area is scoring points, and then upcoming to score points is adjacent in each statue.
Each statue. Okay, so now we got some statue control going on here.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that all that Thag could do? Just deploy his champions there and that's it? Ooh, interesting. So he's really going for that deployment area one. Although I don't think that Goldar is going to survive.
There.
So he's definitely planning for the next turn to get his Solka immediately into that yellow zone.
Yeah.
100% what's going to happen. He's trying to score that within the 2 window. He currently has his Sushao right where he needs him, and also that Solka. So that's going to be tough because Smitherman is basically on another side of the planet at this point. The only person that can reach there quickly, I believe, is going to be Sushao. And thankfully for them, they have an out there because he would have been flanked by 2 different traps. But now we have an empty trap space, so that helps a lot too.
Whoa, don't draw all your cards there, Thang.
No, let's just mess with all the cards. That's the crazy stuff that happens in Tabletopia. You're like, I'm doing something. Oh gosh, I'm doing too many things now. Put everything down. Everything
they were
down.
reshuffling their deck. So yeah, they're moving.
Having those traps set up like this is just gold for being able to take over that yellow area and kind of because everybody else is on the other side there.
So who's our first player? Our first player is Smitherman, right?
No, I think it was Thog.
It was Thog?
So, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, Thag. I think it was Thag. Yeah, because they picked first. I remember them picking first. Because they were the ones who picked, and then we waited for a while on Smitherman to make that first move.
Here we go. Ah, my favorite. Spirit Slither. She just took out all of his armor. Goldar is going down. There's no way he survives this. Except if they have like perfect reaction card.
Yep, I was gonna say I'd let them go through my armor and hold that reaction. I always hold that reaction for them to do their 3rd card that will kill me and then be like react to it. If you can.
Maruz, what are you gonna use? What are you gonna use, buddy? What are you gonna use? So we got so Maruz does a lot of
scratches.
I think it's gonna be Ravenous Bite. Yes, I guessed it. I guessed that.
2 lifesteal. That's 3 damage.
I picked that right in time. Do we get him?
3 damage doesn't kill him now. Yep, 3 damage does not kill him.
Oh, so Goldar healed.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm not sure when he healed, though. Probably the last... Oh, that's probably why there wasn't that many movement last turn. He was just healing Goldar.
He healed. Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, that is smart. Ooh, I like that.
I'm going to ask Thag for, like, pointers after this.
Yeah, well, wow.
There's a double. There's 4. So if this goes through, this could kill Goldar, though, I believe.
Ooh, what is it? Oh, 6.
It was a double.
It was a double?
It was a double with another 2 points, which would have done 4, which would put him at dead. So were they able to mitigate some of this still?
It seems like it. Oh, there's it. There it is, the reaction card. The Solka reaction card.
Oh my gosh.
They just took it.
There?
Yeah, so the attacker suffers root and he gets +2 defense. So he was just barely able to make it through.
He's at 6. Yeah, I was going to say, because that double should have killed him. But like I said, action for the very last one, they held it. They saved themselves 2 points of damage.
Oh, Thag! I need to talk to Thag after this. Thag,
dude, Thag is killing it. What the heck?
Make sure to send us some notes on Twitter or whatever.
Wow.
What you're looking at here is that Thag could technically just kind of sit back and maybe go for this creation zone now because he's got
They got options. They got options.
Yeah,
which I told you, right? I said that they were going to go ahead and take advantage of that too. Wow.
Is this going to be over that quickly? This is
I think so.
I can make top ramen.
Flip shirts to Steam Thag.
For real.
Pedde would also get a Quackalope shirt.
A Quackalope, yeah.
Or a Hoggalope, whatever you want to call it.
So seriously, I feel Thag is one of those players that we should be watching for on the last round, on next week's round. Like he's one of my favorites. Viandox has done really well. Thag is definitely a favorite of mine right now. He's impressed me.
Like that was crazy.
That's so good
to watch.
Dude, and look how difficult he's made it for Smitherman to make it over to yellow.
I know,
it's like he saw the future.
He just weighed his chances. He's like, I'm going to control these 2 regions. Hopefully something's going to come up, and he just won out on that.
Is actually a sentient robot, is what it is.
Man,
that would make so much sense.
There's like some killer moves in this.
Okay, so we got Smitherman acting now. Is that Slither again? It is Spirit Slither. Fascinating. So, okay, so they're really... What do you feel about this, guys? They're focusing a lot on that Goldar right now. Should they be... Like, I guess it makes sense, but they're also not contesting anything else.
Yeah, I would be getting over to that yellow. That's way more important.
I think at this point, the other player has probably just gotten, like...
overwhelmed.
Yeah. With everything that's happened, they've just gotten wrecked. There's 4 trophies out on the board. At this point, they're like, now what do I do? What do I go for? Okay, this is the least resistance, and maybe is focusing on things that they shouldn't be focusing on at this point, you know?
Yeah. So we got closing in. You're going to have a move of 2, then a dash of 2. If Mario's is bloody, this attack gains double. Okay, so it does seem like they got good control over what's going on. I saw that he played a Soul. Yep, that's it. That's a Solka card. I wonder if they're going to be able to take out Goldar there. So that's going to be for life drain. Yep.
Yeah.
Come on, come on. Yes, that's it. Goldar is out, and yellow is defended. Okay, so maybe there's a shot. They have
to feel really good about themselves now. They're like, oh, thank God. Like that's one. I took that one person out. I got my 1 trophy in.
And hey, it
wasn't a 0.
Here's another interesting thing. Again, they made a blockade of traps, right? But Maru's is best when
bloodied.
Yeah,
bloodied, and he got hurt. Oh no, he just got healed. Okay. Pay no mind to me, apparently. They want his Maru's as healthy as possible, I guess. Thag is Marc Alexandre on BGG.
That's right. So you can always go on BGG, and I think you can follow from there and see what they're doing, see what posts they've created. Maybe if they're talking about like the synergy of what they have going on. I'm going to look that up after this. I'm going to look that up.
Man, I really appreciate these players just putting down those colored tokens there. It has made it so much better for us to talk about what's going on. A lot clearer.
Enemy area is the newest goal.
Oh, by the way, they didn't. I'm not seeing Smitherman take his trophy for Goldar because that was for the Solka that he took out at the beginning. So he's missing a trophy on his side.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Is he really? I didn't even say that.
Yeah, he didn't take his trophy. Fascinating. Maybe someone should tell him.
Yeah.
Didn't even want it. Doesn't need it.
He's just like, oh, I'm going to lose anyways. Whatever. Oh, so here comes Su Xiao and Solka. Okay, so we got, it's a reaction. Oh, nice. Nice. So we got defended there pretty well, not being able to take out that Maru's. I wonder what Su Xiao played. Oh, it was Jade.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's a double strike. Oof. Yeah, he played that card exactly. That was
wow.
Good for you, bro.
Wolf, it'd be a meow because it's a cat. And here's the last one. Push 1. Anchors away.
Where's Goldar right now?
Goldar.
Oh, he's just gonna move in.
The board.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
And then push.
Oh, he's gonna put him on that trap.
Yeah, push him off that trap, which means he's got this spot.
Worked so well, like so well for them. That was probably the best move that they could have done.
Let's put that trap.
What do we got? Was that just like a root or something? I didn't see it.
It was right here. It was that one.
Stunned.
I don't remember what that one. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yep, they got to get rid of a card. So they're getting rid of this red card here, bone to pick.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one for Maru's, especially now that he's bloodied. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yep. And it still makes it so he's got to get somebody in there to contest this yellow, or he just wins because he only needs 1 trophy.
I think that might be it, honestly.
Point, do you take the other 2 characters and just try to whittle down Maru's?
Like on the last legs.
That's exactly what I would do, honestly.
He only needs 3 hits and he's got no block. I would just be going all out on him.
On Maru's.
It's not his turn. I think it's Smitherman's turn now. So there's his 2nd trophy.
It looks like little eyes and a face.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad Smitherman remembered. It does look like little eyes.
That's exactly how he's feeling right now. He's actually coming through the tournament to us. And that's exactly how
he's like, oh no!
Yeah.
He's like that kid in the bus. She's like, I'm in danger. It's not good. Yeah. So basically, if Thag doesn't get moved out of this spot or this doesn't get contested, Thag wins. And then
Yeah, there's no shot.
If he does get moved out, all 3 cards put on Maroos, just kill him.
So
Just go all out.
do they
They don't
see
take
the
the
orange hand?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. That's a good point.
I don't think they do. I'm not for sure. If they do,
Then they see me picking their nose right here. That would be awkward.
I'm not sure if they can see spectator hands. I have the feeling that would not be super great if they could.
Yeah, ghost hands might throw stuff off. So they moved him in, so they contested.
There we go.
Oh.
See, there you go, Jan. Oh,
Thank you.
perfect.
Thank you, Mythic Games. Wait, does that mean Mythic's listening to us? Oh, I have to
It
take back
seems
a lot
like-
of what I said.
Yeah, we should have been more careful.
So sorry. There's so many things I've said wrong.
Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made.
It's like when the teacher comes into the room and you're
And
like,
everybody's like,
"Ugh." I'll tell you what, we were playing Honey Buzz live and the designer came in. They're like, hey, you're on the wrong board. You need to flip it. And I was like, ugh. And she's like, well, we should just keep going with it since we've already done it. I was like, no, we flip it. The
Smooth.
Designer tells you to
We-
flip something,
we
you
flip
flip
it.
it right now.
We take a moment and we flip that board because yikes.
Yeah, so I think Smitherman just gave the game right now.
Yeah.
I don't feel that was a good move on his part. That Maroos is
Maybe
going to
they didn't
get
have other
completely.
options.
I hear you, but oh man, I
here's
wonder.
the cards.
There it is.
We already
That's
There it
said
is.
Yeah.
set
There it is.
sail,
Yeah.
That's it.
And
That's it.
we have plunder.
Oh my lord.
I think that's it. That should kill
Yeah,
him.
there's no way. There's no way. Let's
Yep,
see.
there it is.
Resistance
those
is
3 moves
futile.
right there just kills him. Smitherman went offline.
Rage quit.
Oh, poor-
Well, they're
Smitherman,
done.
I feel you. I feel
They're
you.
probably off to go collect their ramen. That game was over with a quickness.
Ouch. That game burned really bad. That was
Wow.
Ooh,
Well, that
Snag.
didn't feel bad. Smitherman didn't do anything bad. I will say Smitherman didn't do anything that was
No.
bad.
not at all.
Thog just came out and controlled that board like they were
From
playing a
step
different
one.
game.
It
Yeah.
was like a different game for
Like
them.
it felt like Thog took 2 first turns. Like they did so
Yeah.
much in that first turn, and they were risky. But boy, did it pay
It
off!
paid
Yes,
off.
they
Yeah.
were. I thought that was going to
Super
come and
risky.
bite them, and it did not. It actually
You
paid
were
off in the best
so
way.
Wrong, Jan. You were,
I've been right a lot of the
Super
time
wrong.
too. So just
You
just
guessed
putting
a
it out
lot.
there.
but you
There
were
should be-
really wrong.
There should be a marker somewhere saying every time Jan got it right, anticipating the strategy. It would be like
I'm
a
gonna-
7 right
I'm gonna
now.
write down right now that you were really wrong about that guy. Right now.
Oh,
Here's
my
the thing. I do
goodness.
think Smitherman made some critical mistakes, especially
How
focusing on
dare
that Goldar so early on, especially on that second turn. There was no reason to be there for that amount of time. Like he really just
No,
focused
they
on that
should've
corner of
moved
the
other ones
board.
out. I agree.
Whenever you get there, though, I mean, they were probably shook at that point with everything that was happening
Hey,
and
there was
having
something
to
to be
be
said about
forced
that.
in a certain way. Well, there is something to be said about that. And I know in an intense situation, you get into that in those tournament situations where you're like, oh man, what do? I just need to do something.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then you just roll right into it. You roll right into it. Like
That's
it
an-
happens.
That's another one. The
Shake
mental,
you.
the mental
It happens. The mental game.
gymnastics. Yeah, the mental games that you're doing. That's
Yeah.
also part of this.
Yeah, because setting up those traps and forcing, basically, he just corralled them. He corralled them that on exactly where they wanted them to go. He was able to take over the locations that he wanted to take over at that was
Beautiful.
for real. Just crazy.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh, that was a crazy, crazy game.
I want to see
That
Thag play
was-
again. Honestly, that was amazing. Like I want to follow Thag, like Marc Alexandre.
Right?
So for everyone
Marc
that's interesting, Marc
Alexandre.
Alexandre is currently
Yeah.
my top pick for next
Top pick,
week.
top pick for next week. Really? Okay.
Well, I don't know. I
All
haven't
right.
seen. I
That
haven't
was
seen
so
everyone
quick.
yet,
Yeah,
but that was really good. That
I
that
could
showed
see
that
it.
he knows. He really does know.
definitely.
Agreed,
He
says
did plays that I like.
Fatal.
I like getting risky, getting in there, and then keeping that reaction for that perfect moment. You let him throw 2 cards at you. That third card comes at you, and you say, "Nope, I survive." You win.
And at the same time, like he was risky, but I feel he knew why he was being risky and how
Oh,
to
yeah.
take that risk, and that is so important in these type of games. Like he had an answer immediately after his Soka got taken out. He's like he knew what to do. He did not stutter or stop at any point, and that's why I respect the guy right now.
And he puts the odds in his favor. So it was being risky, but with the odds in your favor. And that's always the best way to play. You know, take the risks that you need to, but make sure that you're setting yourself also up for failure. Because if you do fail, you have a way out as well, you know?
Loved it.
So it was so good.
Next match we have here, we have Gwaine, Corbash, and looks like Zhao again.
And they just
on
won a
one
lot.
side. Okay, and they,
Oh,
did
did
they
the game
just
just
lose?
Finish.
The game just finished.
It
Well,
must have.
we're coming close.
I'm gonna assume that Soufrouga won just because Carbonell went off. It looks like it's 4-4, so I don't know who got that final trophy. It must have been.
Man, I really do believe Sushao is the number one character. I think we've seen Sushao almost in every single game in one way or
Look at
another.
this one here. We have
Yeah, absolutely.
Kilgore, Nevermore, and is that Zhao again? It is.
Yep, yes, it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, wow,
He's just
Zhao,
amazing.
I have not given Zhao any love.
I haven't given Zhao the love apparently Zhao needs, and Zhao needs a lot of love, okay?
He's fantastic. I also love his character model and his artwork. It's so good.
I'm revisiting
Tiger,
Zhao right now.
J Tiger does not play any games. He's there to kick butt and chew bubblegum, and he is all out of bubblegum. He is not playing around.
So let me see. So I had made a breakdown of each of the characters. Let me see what I called Xiao once I did that. I call him Cripple. He's a cripple character. He's all about going in, doing massive amounts of damage so that your weaker characters can come in and take the kill. Especially with that bloody abilities that he has. You know, that Jade Strike is... that's an incredible card.
Jade Strike is just like game breaking.
I was just looking at that right now. Yeah, it's huge. It is a game changer right there.
It is. That first match we just watched, that very last one we just watched, that dude drank a whole 4-pack of Red Bull and just went at it.
Fatal coming in with those good jabs.
His name is like Kyle. He was just like crack and just went for it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You see that vein popping here like
that was the whole thing. So
that was just crazy.
We do have another matchup here. It looks like it is 2-2.
Ooh,
and then this
I like it.
Here, we have some new players. Looks like we've got Kilgore, Aket, and Corvash.
Aket, yes.
But Aket's gonna die.
Yeah, I saw that. He can't revive. He can't revive with that reaction card.
I will not allow that. And then we have Kilgore, Corvash, and Nevermore. So
wow,
that is or Doug run.
That's really strong on offense, and it's paying off apparently because they are taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, they were. But this match isn't over because it looks like they're just bashing each other. So the Bash Brothers.
The Bash Brothers. The only deviation here, I kind of find this fascinating that people pick the same characters. Like as a counter, you pick the same character. That's interesting. This is the second time we've seen that.
Yeah, I mean, mirroring does work, but then it's just whoever has the better cards at the right time a lot of times, or whoever's slightly better positioning. I don't like that. I don't like it either. I like saying, oh, you've got a lot of melee characters. Cool. I'm going to go with a ranged and try to get away from you and hit you. And then so you just can't even touch me. I like having that counter. Or if they've got a lot of range, you say, cool, I'm going to have a lot of fast moving guys and move in close to you and then just tear you up with the Zhao.
100%. Yep.
Go Zhao on that bow.
Wow.
But so you got Zhao and Goldar together. You do go Zhao on that bow technically because he's like, I eat my hearties, and then you go Zhao on him.
What I kind of feel is really interesting about these very small deviations in strategy is that a single character, how much it can change your entire game, right?
Oh,
like
absolutely.
now you got Aket with Kilgore and Corvash, and then the other player has Nevermore with Kilgore and Corvash, which are kind of completely separate play styles in a way.
But they both have that swoop.
I was going to say they both have
do
maneuverability. Yeah.
However,
more fears. What is Aket really trying to do though?
Exactly. Oh, speaking of swoop, it just happened.
Which it does look like, it looks like Arthemis did put the orange tokens under there, so that does help.
Yes, thankfully.
Nevermore. So basically, Nevermore and the orange is one team.
I wonder what happened there. How did that Corvash teleport to the other side? Interesting.
Yeah, hopefully Jan is nicer in this game. Jan.
Yeah, Jan.
Hey, I call it how it is, man. I call it how it is.
Control the enemy deployment area. And then the upcoming one is going to be control the creation area. So, yeah.
So it seems like so creation is yellow, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
So it seems like Artemis has a leg up there, not by a lot though.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like, Artemis has got a character here, they've got a character up here, so they've got that spot there, and they got Nevermore here going towards the enemy area. But
good catch.
Yeah.
Kilgore could go towards the enemy area here, but they have to worry about this yellow.
Yeah.
Which, well, it's coming up, so depending on when the round flips.
So look, if you can get in there and you can get in there really well and stuff, like you can potentially get a good payout in trophies
Look at that.
several times in a row. You
There
know?
they
Oh
are.
my
They're in
God.
the enemy deployment area. They're in the enemy deployment area with two characters. So they're saying, I'm going to go for the guaranteed points next turn, which is going to be worth 2.
Yeah, that's smart.
And,
That's smart.
and they're letting this other character just sit up there and maybe get 1, which a 2-for-1 trade when it's 2-2 is not horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
As long
know,
as you
but at the
keep 'em
same
off
time,
another goal.
can he survive? That's the question. Because all of his characters are extremely weak right now.
Yeah.
Except for example, if he has a reaction card where, like, if they target a Ket and they dedicate all of their attack damage to a Ket, he just plays down his reaction card of revival and he teleports right next to his Kilgore. So
this is so close, though. It might be worth getting those 2 points and then just trying to just kill somebody because there's some damage.
Yeah,
on the
there's
board
some
here.
I agree.
heavy damage over there.
But it's on this side though, so maybe letting them get that 1 point is not going to be not be good
detrimental,
because they might lose 2 characters the next turn and that's it.
Yep.
That's game.
Ooh.
Fascinating.
Well,
I
that
like
would be
these
a really good
strategies.
way to do it. Yeah.
And
I
just
like
for
people being
clarification,
bold.
There was no rage quit earlier. It was just the match was over.
I think he was listening. I think he was listening, and he was like, "Oh, these stupid people! Why are they criticizing me?"
100% joking around about the rage quit. Yeah. But absolutely, to clarify, it was not. It was not. It was
The
a
match was
crazy
just
game,
over.
K-Smith. Like, I don't even know how I would have reacted to that whole situation. I was blown away by how fast that moved on that one. So that was crazy.
We were just joking around. Just joking around.
Not sponsored by Mythic.
They're listening in, guys. We should probably,
You need to be nice. You need
They
to,
just
also, you need
gotta
to
be
be
better.
nice.
You gotta
They
be
just
better.
cut it off, like they cut off the stream.
It's like,
And
beep.
done.
We'll be right back after we change hosts.
Oh, all right.
So let's
on this
see.
one, I keep on waiting for them to go ahead and get taken out. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I'm just on the edge of my seat. I'm like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen at any point.
Yeah, it's too close. I would probably focus on okay, here we go. Here comes Kilgore trying to focus on the other Kilgore.
It looks like it.
Ooh. Okay, so that's going to be
Now he's in here with 1 character. Is he going to try to kill Kilgore? Can he kill Kilgore, though?
that's a Maul
That's
Thrash.
He can't kill Kilgore.
Yeah, so that's going to be a push of 2, attack of 2, melee.
Which-
So
that's
he's definitely
big
going to take him out of
something.
there, but he still has a Ket to deal with.
Yeah.
So who can reach there? Potentially, maybe Nevermore with a swoop.
And I don't know if pushing that player towards
Evermore's-
yellow was the right move because they can just walk into yellow now. I mean,
I agree.
at that point, but
Well,
it'll be too late at that point. But if they have the right reaction card, that might make it where they can dash in there or something.
Nevermore can make it pretty far across the board because I think his swoop is like a
4.
4.
Yeah, it's a 4. But
So
also,
go all the way over here.
they would need something as a follow-up too.
Yeah.
Like they would need a red core card for Nevermore and that. Oh, actually, that swoop. No, that swoop is blue, so that is not what they're planning.
Mm.
And I guess the big thing is they don't control this enemy area anymore because this Kilgore has made it so that it is now contested.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's true.
Because it's not just being there; you have to control that one.
Mhm.
Mhm. Oh, interesting. So that does change things up a little bit and makes him kind of pivot a tad. It's actually a really close game. I feel that they're both bringing in some interesting stratagems here.
Well, the
Yeah.
big thing with close games like this, it'll stay at a couple points here for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, boom, somebody's got like 3 points because they take out 2 of their people. Then all of a sudden they score like 1 trophy or something like that just came out, and then game over at that point. So, like, it's actually a really risky area to be in whenever
Yeah.
you have those 2 trophies, and you're just waiting, and you have low health on the other side. Like, you're just waiting to get in that 1 final trophy and then take out some people. Like, this could
What are
happen
they-
very, very
what are
fast.
they
It's a
doing?
1-turn thing. It could happen in 1
Okay.
turn.
Oh
They're
man, I
triggering
had a
that trap.
feeling. I had a feeling that he wanted to use his Nevermore, but he was debating if he should take that trap.
On how to go down there.
Because there's that trap right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it paid off for him or not because he just lost the card. That
It's
might have been the
done.
card he was going to
Yeah.
activate with.
Ooh, that would be terrible to have to go ahead and do that, to lose the one that you were. Oh.
Yeah, but at the same time, like
He's-
you
he's
have to
still
play the card to
controlling that.
move, right? So
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
he used the card just in time. Maybe. Okay.
So he's
So I'm
going real
thinking
hard.
He wants to get out of that. Well, because he's in that creation area, but he needs it to switch to score points. Because right now, even if he controls it, it won't score points until the round flips.
How's the other Corvash doing on health?
So our Corvash health situation is that one's doing fine, and over here.
Oh, that's a 4. Yeah, so he's halfway there.
All these characters are halfway there. These are both bloody. Oh,
there we go.
He's very close to being there.
That's okay. So Nevermore, I feel, went for that, and then Sap Strength, is that a ranged attack? Yes, that is ranged. Interesting. Yeah, so I think they basically just finished their turn. Yep.
Yeah,
I think they might be shuffling.
They got stunned.
Are they shuffling their whole deck already? Oh my gosh. They are okay. No, they have cards out, right? Oh no, they are. They're shuffling the whole deck.
No, yeah, Artemis is for sure.
Full refresh. Man,
interesting.
Okay. But you never really want to see that because now anything's up again, right? You have no idea what they're going to have.
Right, you don't know what they're going to have in their hand. At least with the cards out.
2 reactions, 3 reactions in their hand. Who knows?
Exactly. You can go ahead and kind of go, all right, well, I've already seen these cards played. I'm going to bet on this and everything. I'm going to bet they're going to have this in their hand, especially when it gets down to those last few cards. You can kind of tell exactly what they're going to have, especially if you've gone through the decks and you know all the cards.
Yeah.
So Corvash just faced up against Corvash.
Yep.
You've got one with 6 damage on it, one with no damage on it. So I don't.
Oh.
You want to contest that area, but yeah, if he swings back, you die. You could die from reaction.
I believe he just played Leaping Strike. Is that right?
I think so. With 1 reaction can just kill you, though.
Right.
Yeah, interesting strategy there. So he's using a Leaping Strike, and then there's a reaction card. Interesting. Okay, so he's using the reaction card on his. Okay.
What is it? Okay, the attacker is bloodied. Ignore the attack effects. Okay.
Fascinating. Oh, and they also they're playing that reaction too, right there.
Yep. Same thing.
Okay. Wow. Oof. Yeah, I thought that was a little bit risky, especially with such low health. Like the maximum damage he could have done to that was 3. And that blood curling roar just gave a 2+ bonus. At
this point, though, I mean, you have to start playing a little bit risky because I think the tournament, this last match here, started probably around that like 11:30. So we're reaching about where there's 20 minutes left on this final game here. So this is it. So if you have 20 minutes left in your final game and you need to win this game, you might start just being super risky to just see what happens and try to get those trophies.
Sometimes
you got to shuffle.
No action is a bad action.
Well, that's true.
You don't want to just sit back.
That's true. Unless you're trying to stall for time, apparently, like DrGloryHogg does.
If you're a 2-0 player, you can stall because that'll still get you into the top 8 potentially.
Yeah.
But you have to know how everybody else's matches went, which with this type of tournament, you're not going to be able to know that as well.
Yeah.
Right? When you're playing an in-person tournament, you can go and like ask people like, oh, how do all these other matches go? If there's another tie out, you can kind of figure out like your chance to get into the top 8 that way. I don't think they can risk that here.
You know what? And for our people that are viewing and everything, I want to know if there are any particular people that you all are following for the tournament, because I would be interested to know what your fan favorites are in this. Because I didn't think about that. Now that, we moved up to 16, now you can kind of pick a little bit more. And then now once we get to the top 8 for next week, you're going to have fan favorites,
I love how speedy these players are. They're already on another round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this was interesting. So Aket is really weak. So he used one of the Kilgore's displacement abilities to move Aket out of the way. Not sure if that's going to be enough to save him. To use Aket out of the way so that he can start contesting that area now, and he's created a blockade for that other Kilgore.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't. If I was Arthemis, I would probably just try to kill Aket and Kilgore right now. Get 2 points.
Get your points.
And then make it where he's got to spend his whole next turn just getting back out.
Yep. Just trying to be risky as heck with everything, because
it's all up to him to get out and stop you from getting any other one
right.
trophy.
And that puts them in a completely different state of mind.
Plus you level up 2 of your characters too, which I mean that can be a goal in and of itself.
That would be a very strong move, I think.
I don't think we have that goal out, but still, no, we do not.
This is probably like one of the very few times that going after just the characters is probably more than worth it. More than worth the actual goals that are out.
And Nevermore is over in the enemies deployment zone, which is another goal.
Oh, is he? Oh, he's completely secure there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So maybe he does it. I don't know. I think you still kill because then they have to get out and do something to move you. I think you do go for the kills if you can.
I think so. I think going for the kills in this particular case would be the stronger option.
But you know what? Right now, it seems like so Max is the one who's playing right now.
Yeah.
So Max is in real trouble. So because Max isn't gonna be able to move this, which means they're gonna score at least 2 trophies, if not one other one. And then if they kill Corvash, it's just over.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So so displacement
are lower.
We just saw displacement again.
Yeah.
Corvash moved the other Corvash. So this is what I'm assuming could happen. That Nevermore it's going to score that in, and then the Corvash is going to go in and take out a Ket, and that's it.
Yeah, the question is, they're going to score 2 or 1? Is the round going to end and they're going to move down the objectives before they score?
Good point.
I'm not 100% sure who's the first player.
Oh, we got Artemis going.
When the round moves.
So he started with a Kilgore. He activated Leaping Strike.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is Artemis going? Yeah, it is Artemis. So so Leaping Strike now. So a damage of 3. Wonder where they're going though.
So like the yellow player's saying like, hey, look, I scored this one. Yep,
oh, they did!
There we go.
All they gotta do is
That's it. That's it.
Oh, no.
Kilgore.
If he just goes in, takes out that Ket, we're done.
But she's got 3 turns to do it. Or Kilgore. Kilgore's also super weak.
Yeah.
Weak.
I think they can take it right now.
Move, even just a basic one, if you just burn a card, you can move and do 1 damage. So like he's in real trouble. I would almost start with a basic move.
Oh, he went for Corvash. Okay, so let's see.
Almost dead too.
Well, maybe
double Kilgore.
Would have resurrect, and he wouldn't want that. Maybe I don't know.
We just got. Oh, so he didn't activate Fury. So he didn't activate Leap Strike. I think. I'm not sure what happened. So I don't think he activated because he's using a Fury now, I believe, or no. Okay, interesting. So we got
reaction.
Huh. Okay.
Oh my gosh, what is happening?
Yeah, I know, right?
Down to the line for there to be too many moving things.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, how did they not just done the finishing blow on one
Oh my
character?
gosh.
I thought it was Artemis's move, and I would have just gone for a Ket and taken it out.
I thought it was too.
I thought so too.
But now they do. I mean, they score the deployment area, so why?
So we just got a reaction there for Darksteel. Target gains +2 until the end of the turn.
I don't know. This is like the final game of today. So if you're interested in seeing the finals, make sure to stay tuned for next week, everyone. So like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to ring the bell if you are on YouTube so you get notified whenever we go live, as we will be going live next week, same time, same place. So wherever you're following us, just hop on and watch again. And we're going to see the finals of this for next week.
I'm just trying to figure out what Artemis is going to do because this.
No, that's it. He just scored the 5th.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, that's what we thought. Oh,
yeah. I was like, what's going on? So what did they do to
Would
score
they end up
that
taking
last one?
Did they take somebody out?
Yeah, I believe so. Maybe that Corvash was the one that they took out. They were moving a little bit too fast, which I appreciate. That was I love a good pace game like this.
Yeah, but then Artemis did definitely win it though. That is the 5 trophies that they need to move on.
Oh, wow. Today's games were fantastic, everyone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so pleased with how today's games went.
I think
they were very
the person that was
exciting.
controlling the video did a really good job.
The person that was controlling the video did 100 times better job than the last person who was controlling the video.
She took it from me last time, just as a reminder.
So I'm very pleased with the video work this time. Much better, yes. But no, I'm really happy with the sort of tournament or the sort of settings that we saw today. Like there was a lot of like big turns happening, It was exciting to watch. This was awesome. I'm
It's very
so
interesting to see
happy.
the characters that are in there. It'll be really interesting to see if we can see that competitive draft at the beginning of next round.
The competitive, being able to catch the competitive draft, because we're seeing this like as soon as they put down the codes, we're trying to grab those codes and then
it takes
trying
like
to get
a good
in.
minute or two to get into the actual match.
So being able to see that this time, I was so happy with that. Because you get to see that. Okay, well, not this character. Okay, we're bringing this character in. Right, we want to do the back and forth that happens before that, and then the starting of the game and placing those characters, which we talked about, which was super important on placing your characters in the right place to make sure you're where you need to be at the right time. Like, so good, so good. I'm so happy.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Do we have an opportunity to see who actually moved forward in this round?
We sure do. So I have not been given the information just yet, but I do know that Mythic Games is probably going to post that on their Facebook page.
Nice.
So if you're interested to see who scored what points, make sure to go to Mythic Games Facebook page, and it will be listed there along with all the winners and who's going to be seen in the top 8 for next week. I'm excited about that. And if I do get them stream, I will announce them as we're kind of wrapping things up here. So takeaways from today.
Suzhou.
Yes, Suzhou everywhere.
Solka, Dug Run together. Like,
Okay.
Those. So I guess if you did all 3 of them, you just automatically win. I don't know.
Yeah, the
Apparently.
+1 to your winning skills.
Oh.
Did you see? So was there any overlap before the last week's round here?
Any overlap? What do you
we
Yeah,
didn't
in terms
see
of
Suzhou.
players or-
I think we saw Suzhou like the 3rd round last week, finally. But it took a while before we saw him because I was talking about how he wasn't around. And we didn't see any Arquette last round. Now, there could have been some because there were 16 matches going on, or 32 matches going on last week. So we obviously didn't catch all of them. We were only getting to watch 1 or 2 each time.
So
It seemed
Solka,
like they weren't used a lot, but Solka really stood out this time.
Solka's been
Yeah.
a mainstay though, because we saw her last week several times, and we've seen her this week like quite prolifically. So like Solka is apparently just a really good like staple character. to
Goldar's
have.
good. Kilgore's good. Just Taze is bad, apparently.
Basically,
the team I usually play, which is like Taze, Lorelei, and then like Colette.
Nice.
No one's playing that team. So apparently I'm doing it badly.
So everyone, if you don't know, this is actually being hosted on Tabletopia. So if you are interested in playing Super Fantasy Brawl or checking out the matches and everything, make sure to head on over to Tabletopia and look that up, because you can actually spectate just like we spectated on these rounds.
But
here.
better, because it'll be you.
Yeah, and you get to control your own mouse, which, you know, is fantastic. Because sometimes when somebody else is controlling, you're like, just a little, just over, just,
Can I
and you
just
like
see
want
that?
to.
Just a quick
Right,
second, please.
Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure I did it perfectly. Thank you.
I also want to thank Jan from Quackalope Games for joining us today. So do you have information on where we can contact you and like get in the
Yeah, have you thought about making like a YouTube channel or something? Or
Oh,
like,
yeah,
can we
so-
find you somewhere?
Coincidentally, we have YouTube, we have a podcast, we also have, we're on all the social medias that you'd like, and we also have a website that you can visit to check out all of these things that I've just mentioned. And just today, as I said this at the beginning of the stream, we posted a Super Fantasy Brawl strategy guide for beginners. So if you're curious about this game and you're looking to get a little bit deeper into it or be ready once you're able to get that box next year, that's a place that you can go. And just
Absolutely.
like Quackalope.
Absolutely. Ooh, and Mythic Games is going to be announcing the top 8 standings here very soon. So I'm excited. So stay tuned, everybody. We're going to go ahead and go through them here in a few minutes, okay?
you know, Sam
Excellent.
typing because there's a bunch of
The
ellipses
dot,
at the end.
dot.
Yeah. Sam is very much like, stay tuned.
Stay
More is
tuned.
coming. Everything.
It
The
gives
end?
it that
Question mark?
mysticism, that mystical, like, stay tuned for more.
Is this the end? And of course, you can always find us on GloryHoundd Presents, also on YouTube's and all
That's
the
right.
places.
On the YouTubes, on the Facebooks, we talk
and it's a
about
2 for 1.
Kickstarters.
If you find us,
Yeah.
you get both. Like it or love it.
And, you know, we originally backed Super Fantasy Brawl as a Kickstarter. We had talked about it on our show, and
Yeah, we paid cash
the
money for
doctor was so pumped about it.
It was my birthday gift.
It was
She
Doctor's
did.
birthday
She was
gift, yeah.
unsure, and I said, you know what? I'm going to use my birthday wish. Like, I want this for my birthday. And so we backed it. And then she later got to play at Man vs. Meeple's house during one of the conventions.
That's
she stopped
right.
by their house.
And I was like,
And she's like, this game is pretty cool.
okay, this is going to be really good.
Pretty cool. And then we got it. It's great. And actually, you know what? Now that I've seen it played here on Tabletopia, I feel like I need to get on our Discord or maybe your Discord because you guys play games on your Discord all the time.
Yes, we do. We also have a Discord.
Our Discord gets pretty active also, so I think we got to get on and just play on Discord.
Jesse had already talked about the matchup. We need to do the versus events.
Yeah, so Jesse and Jan versus her.
Yeah, GloryHoundd.
So I guess as like the better looking, but like the behind the scenes characters, we have to fight each other. So we should do that. We should do Hog versus Goose, Duck versus Hound, right? And then whoever wins out of those matches, hopefully, I'm hoping one person from our side wins and one person from your side wins.
Yeah.
Goes for the championship.
And then goes for the championship.
If Hog and Hound both win, that would be awkward.
Then we just take it home.
Then we fight each other, I guess. I don't know.
Take the glory, take it to the death. No, that'd be interesting. So one thing that I would say is like we have to choose like the non-popular characters and see who can best it from that. Pom pom.
There you go.
That would be so much fun playing those underdogs and seeing where that takes you with it. Because if everybody plays the underdogs,
because I guess we would just not play Solka, Dougrun, Goldar, and maybe Zhao and Killer.
Right.
That still leaves a lot of characters out there.
That would be super
my whole team
fun.
is still available. So I mean,
you know what?
For me, my whole team is available.
You know what could be fun? So both teams can plan out their 5 character selections when we split, and both teams have to use those 5 characters every time, like regardless of if whoever's playing. And so you basically just go in with that. I think that could also be really interesting.
I think that would be interesting as well. And I really like the fact that Super Fantasy Brawl, I mean, you can have your own little mini tournaments at your house. You have enough figures. It's not like with some miniature games where like you get your team and then you can only play with your team. You don't have things for anybody else. Like this one you throw up on your table and you can run your own
because if you back to Kickstarter, it's like what, 12 characters or is it 15?
I 12, have, right? It's pretty high. It's a good amount. It's a healthy amount. And another thing about that Kickstarter,
15, I feel like,
but it's enough for multiple people to play. And if you have multiple people who have multiple copies, guess what? You got an in-home tournament.
Yeah,
okay?
There you go.
Or an in-park tournament. Wherever you feel like your tournament would be safe to host, you can do that thing.
It's 15 characters, by the way. Definitely 15.
15 characters.
Yep. And another thing that the Kickstarter did is that they included 2 sets of trophy cards. So you could potentially hold 2 separate tournaments. You just need 2 mats or 2 maps, basically. 2 maps,
and,
yeah. And you can play simultaneously.
That would be super fantastic because we've done stuff like that before where we've had people come over and we supply like all of the miniatures and stuff. It's like, all right, we're going to have our own in-house tournament for this and winner gets to take home like this, whatever sort of cool gaming stuff that we have that we want to give away and everything. So that's something that you all can do. No. No.
Winner takes over the mortgage. Done and done. High stakes.
Well,
stakes.
Are you winning or are you losing if you have to take care of the mortgage?
Depends on the house. Jan's house looks very nice.
Depends on the house.
It's an apartment, unfortunately. I want a house, though. Maybe one day soon.
One day in the future, there will be housing.
Ellipses.
Battlecry wants to know make sure you two know that you're also called sidekicks. Sidekicks, apparently.
You're called sidekicks.
Is that because we do all the kicking while they just stand there being like, "Oh, I'm the hound, I'm the duck." I don't know.
That's probably pretty fair. And you're over there working your butts off.
Yeah, we're sweating. Yeah. That's why Jane and I are in such good shape because we're always working and hustling.
We're testing out those muscles all the time. Those magic muscles.
There it is.
That's right. So we're just waiting for the top 8 right now on this. Doctor, have we talked about what your favorite characters are to play
a little bit? I said Taze because I liked how he could dash around the board, which I thought was really important. I like being able to manipulate and move when you don't expect it, because he has a dash on his reaction, which I think is really key, because if you can get somebody to target him and then he dashes, you can all of a sudden now you control an area that they didn't expect, right? If it's like their last turn and they're like, I'm gonna attack Taze, and you're like, cool, dash in, you're like, now I control the creation area and it's my turn. Like, boom, that can be really swingy.
Those abilities that make it so you can move much further than you should are very, very powerful.
Yeah, I always thought that Wrath was pretty cool because he gets to dig in and pop up places. So I was surprised we haven't seen a lot of that either.
We got an overlap, by the way. I chose Wrath too.
Yeah, I like Wrath. I thought Wrath was good. I've never played as Wrath. She has, but like, I always thought he was really good. And then she like kicked him to the side and I was like, okay. I thought his burrow and stuff was sweet. He's got double dealing, sneak attack, nightshade, stalk beneath, go to ground. It's a lot of really good stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting abilities, and I can't wait to see what the 2 new characters bring if they like increase the synergies even more so.
And also, if you're watching right now, make sure to like and subscribe to everybody's channels because we will be running the finals next week, same time. It starts 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and well, it'll be exciting. It'll be the top 8. I'm excited to get these numbers. I need to get these numbers in. Who's not finished playing?
I have a feeling Fag is definitely making it forward.
I mean, it's funny enough, you could actually play as
definitely.
Gwaine as one of the underused characters, which is crazy because Gwaine is like super powerful.
Yeah, she's the glass
Gwaine is
cannon.
So powerful.
She is.
Well,
And I liked even Darren, she has like those crazy heavy crossbows attacks, which they do some damage. Definitely.
maybe
Darren
it's
is a
because-
specialist.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because she's more damage based, where some of the other characters are more maneuverable.
Well,
As
she's
opposed to just
I
like
like her because you put her
away
in
and
a trap
damage,
spot,
you
and all
know?
of a sudden she gets like 2 armor when she's in a trap spot. So she gets to kind of block that
Yeah,
area.
that's really
But-
powerful.
Yeah, I'm just wondering though the difference on that because you have the same sort of synergy going on. You have support characters who are further away, but Gwaine is heavier damage, where some of the other ones are just more maneuverability.
Oh, gotcha.
So
You're saying
I'm
Gwaine.
thinking that maybe that's why she's being substituted for the other characters because of the maneuverability. People are putting above just the pure damage coming off of
Well,
her.
here's a unique thing too, because we're talking about the meta, but since this is a competitive draft, we don't know if everyone's been putting Gwaine in, and then it's just always
Yeah, and it's been taken out.
blocked out.
Yep,
That's
correct.
true. Oh, that's very true.
So that could make a big difference because Gwaine is definitely a big target to go like, I know for sure I don't want that involved.
Absolutely.
And Gwaine does have good maneuverability with her teleport card. She can basically get, I think it's 4 spaces up front. So
Yeah.
she's not super mobile, but if you want her to be, she could. And that's
Absolutely.
really powerful as well.
Mythic Games says we're flying too close to the sun. You're almost
no.
there. Stay on target. You're too close. Almost there. They're getting very close.
Is that another Top Gun reference by any chance?
Oh, it's gotta be. It's gotta be. Which is why he's running
yeah.
behind on the pairings. He's like looking up Top Gun references.
no, he knows those by heart.
So, you know
By
what? I should
heart.
almost play Goldar just so I can use all my Jaws references and be like, we're gonna need a bigger boat. Just run around hooking people.
I have a feeling you can do a great pirate
Okay.
voice too.
Then here's
Yar.
my other question.
That's all you need to say is yar.
Arr.
Based
But I think Quackalope would probably dress like a pirate the best. I could see him with the eyeliner and everything.
Oh, I can
Full
definitely pull
depth.
off pirate. Definitely.
Full depth. I could see that.
Based off of the standings that we've seen thus far, how does that change your starting characters that you like to play with? Like, who are you subbing out now to move new characters in to start trying? Because you're seeing, okay, Doug Run's really good. Like, I'm just going to start adding them to
I've
my
used Doug Run.
run up here, my running.
I could see seeing Zhao because I have like just completely did
Yep.
not play with Zhao, and neither one
They
of us
were
have.
just totally off of your map. You were like,
They're off
this
both
is
of our
a
radar.
whatever
Neither one of us has
character.
played that character yet.
Yeah, and then you're seeing these and you're coming in and you're like, oh, no, wait, we need to play with this character right
to be
now.
fair, I mean, a lot of times I think everyone kind of does this at first. You kind of pick the characters based off just looks, just to get the game on the table,
Yeah,
and then you're like, oh yeah, this character's pretty cool. And
'Cause
then
you don't
end
know what
up kinda
everybody
sticking
does,
with
so-
it,
Yep.
right. And then you're like, okay, because there is such a variety. Like now, I have to really think about it and really try to like synergize a little bit better than just going. Normally, I'm just like, okay, I want my melee kind of beefy person, and then I want like my character that's kind of far back, and then then I usually pick a support character. So you go melee, ranged, and the support is how I typically
so
build
like
out.
buffing
Yeah.
supports particularly. Okay.
Exactly. Well, that's what I always liked about Lorelai. She's got that armor, so she like any like influential
So
little
who
damage she blocks, but then she's got that healing, the planning. There's a lot of really good stuff
who are
there.
you subbing out though? Who are you using right now, like all the time that you're like, all right, I'm subbing this out for Zhao.
Mm.
Jan, I'm
Nobody.
asking you the same question.
I'm running all four
Oh,
characters.
I'm giving him space to think. I'm just
Yeah.
waiting.
I
I'm waiting.
I
I'm running all four. That's it.
I-
That's how I win the game. I run 4 characters.
I just like blew his little mind. He's like, wait a second, what would I choose?
Why has it got to be a
Which
little
would
mind? I
choose?
feel
Oh,
like
sorry.
there's a lot of brain meat up
I'm
here.
sorry. I'm
It might
sorry.
not be used. You don't have to
Sorry.
use all of it, but there's definitely some meat there. I think that maybe I would try out subbing out Taze because I played with Taze every single time.
Okay.
So I think I would try subbing that out just to see if I can find some synergies in some other characters.
For Zhao specifically, or just for other characters?
Well, for Zhao, just to try out.
Because
that is, once again, Taze is kind of like your melee character. He's got pretty high health. He's got a little bit of armor. He can dash around, and he's got some of those like finishing blows that are really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I do want to thank.
He gets to yell, "Finish him!"
All the Mythic Games organizers that are making all this possible to run all these tables and everything. Somebody just said that in their Discord chat, and I totally agree with them. Like, putting all this together is such a huge, huge task, and you all are doing a wonderful job.
Did you want to see if you can try to pull that over?
Oh, we got the top
or you could just announce it.
Oh, we got it. We got the top 8.
We got the top.
Yeah. So here we're gonna go by who's seated the highest first, right? So seated at the highest is DeathOfRaven.
Which is Daniel.
Yeah. So they're at the highest level right there. They're first place going into this. Then we have Fabrice, which we watched that one.
Yes.
That was a good one. Then we have Remy, who's playing as Carbo. Then there's Nicolas, who's playing as Chni.
Okay.
Then we've got Charles, who's playing as Soufrouga, which we didn't see like any of those characters there.
No, we did not.
Right.
But good for them. Congrats.
We've got Antoine, who's playing as Arthemis, which we did watch Arthemis play.
Yes, we did.
We've got Marc, who's playing as Thag, which we watched. Thag was the big kind of...
That was the one that we had that crazy match
And
with.
then Max, he's playing as Meeex.
We saw some of those from last week, though, too,
yeah,
we saw Chni, we saw Carbo, I think, first run.
We've seen Carbo twice, I believe, now.
Have we? Okay, yeah.
I don't think we saw Soufrouga. I don't think we've watched that particular match.
So congratulations to the winners of today. You guys are amazing, and we will see all of you next week. So, Jan, I want you to go ahead and like finish your question really quick, since we started asking you a question before we run off, because I don't want our viewers to be disappointed.
I thought you would forget.
You're not out of it now.
I don't want to copy, but I do believe it would be Su Xiao, and the combination that I think I'd do, it's Su Xiao to get into heavy attacks. Then I would follow that up with Raph with surprise attacks that could basically move anywhere on the board, take somebody out, and then jump back out without any type of rep. Yeah. And then after that, I think I would probably do a sort of supporter glass cannon character, either Solka again, just because I really like Solka, or Lord or I would just go with Bwaaaane and be just very heavy on attack.
Okay. I think we just made the same team.
Really? Yeah.
High five. As soon as you were talking, I was like, man, if you're gonna go with Zhao, and if you're gonna go with Wrath, try to get in there, you go Bwaaaane to finish off. Like, just to pick off anybody that you need to. And you're just basically leveling up your characters and just you're going to control by death.
Well, thank you to everybody.
If you're dead, you can't control a statue.
That's very true. Thank you to everybody who hung out with us today and watched everything. Make sure to like and subscribe, and come back and see us next week for the finals in the top 8. And
make sure to thank Jan for his service. Jan, thank you for your service, sir. Thank you.
All right, everyone. We will see you all next week. Thank you. Bye.
See ya.